Tears he wishes he could cry. That'd be a good gamer tag. I can tell you that right now.
Tears I
All
wish I
right,
could
boys.
cry.
I
But
can't.
that should be the title of SSP6, The Tears I Wish I Could Cry. All right, we're live. Let's get going. We got
Tears he wishes.
Tesla Cybertruck right off the rip because we have to address it.
Because it's amazing.
We've got
Duh.
we've got two different stances on this. We've also got 3 printed hearts and limbs, and a Thanksgiving get drunk whiskey drinking guide.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which we talked about the holiday buying guide for whiskey, and now we have an official, like every course, how to get plastered for the holidays. How to deal with constant stories that you don't care to listen to. All right. So let's go with the Cybertruck. Epic, you're all about it. I want to hear why.
Because it's amazing. It's actually the reason I like it so much is because of how unique it is. I love its unique. It's so
Unique how it looks, right?
Amazing. Oh yeah, it's so well that, and it's the only electric truck I think in the whole market. There's one other one actually. I'd be a liar. I can't remember the name of this truck, but they were backed by, and oddly enough, Ford and Amazon.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
I
they
do
were
remember
actually
seeing that one.
the first, I think, electric truck that will be in mass production next year. So it'll beat the Tesla Cybertruck, but whether that sticks or not, we'll come to find out in time. I'm trying to find. I had an article.
You realize it looks like a cross between what's that Cadillac? I just saw it the other day. There's a Cadillac car.
CTSV.
Yeah.
The
CTSV.
Bollinger, I
cross-
think.
It's a cross between the Cadillac and the Honda truck. What's the Honda truck name?
Ridgeline.
Yeah, so it's a Cadillac and a Honda Ridgeline combined because it's got the bed of the Ridgeline and it's got the steep angle top angular of the Cadillac, and it looks like a futuristic El Camino. Is that not an accurate
There's
depiction?
the
I can
Ridgeline.
see
Let's
that.
take a look at
Yeah,
that.
it looks like a space age Del Camino.
Yeah,
I gotta
which
get a
isn't-
mullet. A
it's not a
cyber.
bad, yeah, a cyber mullet. It's not a bad thing though. I'm intrigued.
No,
I'll be honest,
I
I'm
am.
intrigued.
No,
I'm
this is
definitely
my
not.
problem with the Cybertruck. Is that okay? So they've used the space age metal that they use for SpaceX, right?
Uh-huh.
For the body panels, and then they've used this new glass that's supposed to like be shatter proof, essentially.
Yeah, we know where that went.
Sorta.
Yeah,
And yeah. Well, it was. I don't know. I didn't see the guy throw it. I should watch that actually.
He did throw it. It's a heavy ball too. It's
Did
like
he?
a bone,
I
a
don't
steel
know. I heard that he
bearing
threw it
beside the
lightly.
yeah, he did. He kind of half chucked it. Yeah, that's true. That happened. Yep. A little
But
embarrassing.
So my problem with the truck is, other than those two things, what and the design. I'll give you the design. What's innovative? What's different from the other Tesla
Well,
vehicles
it's a
that
truck
they have?
that goes. It's a truck that goes 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. That's
But that's
awesome.
all they did was put the same
Wait.
system that they have in a Roadster.
Actually,
right?
off the top of my head, I have the reason I'm going to pay the $100 and get my name on the list is because it goes 500 miles on an electric battery. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
that's pretty impressive.
You know what?
That's the
You know what I was thinking about the other day too. Actually, now that we're talking about range of electric cars,
There you go.
so we talked about the aluminum air fuel cells, and I always bring them up. But how cool would it be if there was a slot to add aluminum air fuel cells when you were going on long distance? Like, you didn't have it all the time,
Yeah.
but you could just add it to vehicles just for longer journeys.
Like when the Nintendo
a-
64 added the memory pack, and you could just slap it in there and get a little bit more resolution in your gaming.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I
Just
think
when
has
you
to
need
come
it,
with
like, oh, the range of my truck is 500 miles, but I need to go 1,000, so you slap in like a fuel cell or two. You buy
That's
them
what's
in
gonna
like
happen anyway. They're
That's gonna
just
be
Well,
awesome.
yeah, I agree, and that's the inherent problem of electric vehicles is they only go. It's not that they only go 250 miles; it's that you have to stop and charge them. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Even quick charging, only you get another 100 miles. But basically your mileage, your 500 miles, if you get the truck, that's your destination. You can go
Mhm.
500 miles and you've got to stop and spend the night. But 500 miles is a long distance. I mean, how many hours is that? That's a 10-hour drive or a 9-hour drive. And so you're probably done. And that is comparable. I've told people all along, if you can get me to Las Vegas in one trip from Albuquerque, then I'll buy your electric car, because then that's about as far as most people would.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um.
Well, it does
So
have
yeah, that'll
a
be the
pneumatic
future.
ride
But
height, which is unique to
yeah,
the truck. That's
I did hear
something no
that.
other truck has that. It has a like a bed ramp. I guess that's unique because it's a
That's
truck.
cool. Yeah, for the ATV that comes with it, or you buy on the side. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you buy a sub
Do you get that
separately. They haven't
ATV with the
announced that.
$100 deposit?
I don't
I don't
think you
think
get one yet at all. They haven't announced it.
no. Yeah, you
Because
$20,000
I mean, when
ATV.
you buy the truck, it's like a pre-order bundled thing.
Do you
That
know how
would be sweet.
dangerous an electric powered ATV would be? Honestly, the torque on an ATV electric powered, you would hit the throttle and it would go, and you'd be still standing there like, oh,
Well,
Yeah, I was thinking
you just
about
don't
that.
throttle 100% right off the rip, Dave.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
No,
feather
when you're
into
like,
it.
I'm
Jeez.
stuck in this rivet, and you hit the
yeah,
throttle, and you just
yeah,
yank your ATV, your arms and the ATV out from underneath you,
yeah.
and it goes up the hill, and you're sitting there in a pool of blood as your severed limbs are flailing in pain because it took you
Your
away.
hand's still on the
Yeah,
handlebars.
wow! As it's
Yeah.
shooting up the side of this 35-degree slope, just going up the mountain, gone, never to be seen again, going until the battery dies. Or you run into a puddle and it electrocutes you. That's the other thing that could happen.
I thought about that because they have electric dirt bikes now, and
Really?
yeah. If you ever like raced or driven a 2-stroke dirt bike, I joke because I literally had that experience. I was on my brother's 2-stroke and I hit the gas and the bike shot out from under me, and the bike went, and I was standing there watching the bike go down the road because it shot so fast out from under me. And I think that's exactly my image of an electric ATV or an electric motorcycle. The torque is through the roof. So they would have to do some kind of thing on the throttle where when you hit it, there's some kind of governor there that doesn't allow the full power to hit at low twist. And you could probably turn that off or whatever if you were an extreme biker and you could control it, but that's dangerous.
It is, yeah. But the implementations though, like, dude, you could crawl everything and anything without problems. Because that's like one of the biggest issues with gas engines is the torque gets
Not
lost.
instant.
Between
Yeah.
it's not instant. So you like have that like where you're over revving and it's just not giving its all. And it's like you're having pure power from the second you want it. You're just
Think about
climbing
the regeneration of going downhill too, because that's where all the electric gets regenerated, is by braking and going downhill. You could actually the problem is the battery, the weight of the battery, and of course the batteries explode. So
yeah, but you remove. We talked about that too. Is like you're removing so many components from like a combustion like setup that I think you end up like not too much heavier, if heavier at all.
Well, yeah, if you want to hear the battery on the Tesla truck has 3 different models. It has a regular model, a 2-engine model, and a 3-engine model. And so when you have, and so it sounds, I don't know exactly, but it sounds like they're tripling the engine and the output and the battery. So even on the biggest model, it's going to have 3 engines and triple the battery. And my understanding is the battery is very dense and expensive. But your cars have gas, so that, to say, well, the battery explodes, well, gas explodes too.
Oh, the lowest end only has rear wheel drive.
Yeah, so I don't even know who would consider that, because if you're gonna if you're gonna own one of those, you're going all out. You're making a statement. You're like, I'm that guy. I got one of these.
Yeah,
and so somebody like Epic would definitely be that guy.
Epic, I have a question for you. Do you like the look of the Cybertruck over the look of a F-150 Raptor?
Ooh, good question.
Well, you put us in a pickle, did you?
Because I
you
know
want to
you're
make friends,
huge...
you want to make enemies. You take that back.
I know you're a huge fan of that F-150 Raptor, especially the Velociraptor. If you've ever seen that, it's the Hennessy version. The Hennessy tweaked. Would you rather have a Velociraptor? Have you ever? You guys know
Have you
about
seen one?
the Velociraptor,
Yeah,
right?
one of the
Oh,
ladies
yeah.
that works with Adri, her husband bought one. They have a
Yeah,
Velociraptor.
Yeah,
but you'd show him up
demanded
with
that
the
I buy one.
Cybertruck.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to
Uh,
say because the Raptor is like decades and decades and decades of like putting together things to make it look good and appealing to a mass quantity of
hmm
people. But
It's
the way
nature
that
to
this
think
truck
that truck
looks,
looks delicious.
yeah, this truck is so off the beaten path and so against the norm that I would have, if pick and choose, even if I could afford a Raptor every day, I would still get this truck. I mean, like the luxury within inside the Raptor's like, it's got 8 or 9 cameras. It's got a powerful engine. Everything's automatic. This is actually as wide as a Raptor. I don't know if you noticed when it came out in
It's
the
wide as
beginning.
hell.
It has 3 lights. By definition, in New Mexico Department or the Department of Transportation in the United States demands that once you're past, I think it's 78 inches in width, you have to have 3 lights. So this thing is 79 and some change, which is exactly the width of a Raptor. This thing's a beast. It's a big truck. The thing that'll change people's minds about that particular comparison is the luxury that comes packed on the inside. If this is just a bare bones truck for that much money, it's not going to do very well.
They didn't
But
show
because
the
the
interior
Raptors are
either.
like, dude, Raptors are nuts. They're like, it's having an F-150 Platinum with a bigger, badder engine and the ability to just hit the middle of nothing and go on forever. You have a lot of truck with a lot of amenities. I mean, they have an automatic rising and lowering tailgate. It's ridiculous.
With a ramp.
Raptors just
I'm
spoil
literally shopping for my next Tesla right now. You guys got me inspired. I'm good. Let's do this. To heck with it. Who cares?
Then you can put a charge port in your home, like a supercharge port in your house.
So let me ask you a question. So are these Teslas, let's say I buy a Tesla truck. All right, I got a tiny house. I got a Tesla truck, a little camper in one of my driveway parking spots. I'm gonna park my Tesla truck right next to that camper. Is it waterproof? Can I charge my Tesla truck in my driveway? Is that how universal are these things? Is it ubiquitous? Can we just use it like an everyday item, or do we have to have a garage? Do we have to find charging stations? Do we have what's the level of
I would
it being a
imagine
pain
if
in the
they
ass?
have charging stations, then you probably could charge it in the rain.
No, but I want to
Yeah.
know, can I charge it in my driveway? You know, with my
That's a good
neighbors that are
question.
looking at it like, hey, I could charge my car. They're not going to have a charge. They're not charging their car.
Well,
But-
if Truff said you could buy a supercharging station for your house, if that's
Yeah.
the case. That's
But
big.
what about outdoor charging? That because we all assume that Tesla owners are well-to-do. They have a 3-car garage. They have a 6-bedroom house. You know, a gated community. But let's say the everyday person wants to buy a Tesla truck. They want to go for the $38,000 2-wheel drive Tesla truck because they like the way that it can handle a 9mm bullet shooting into the window. So they want to buy that. Can they charge it in their driveway? The everyday man. And that's where they need to market it.
I'm looking at some articles saying, yeah, you can.
Nice.
So,
because that
they
the
had
stuff.
when we were in Legoland, they had Tesla charging stations outside in front.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
tons of them. There were like rows and rows and rows of these things. You could charge your Tesla while you were there.
Because to me, that's the deciding factor. Can I charge it in my driveway? Can I?
Yes, you can, Dave. Now go buy one.
Marty, how do you order? What are you doing? How do you do it?
A good question.
Loan them 4%.
Yeah, I have a big problem with this truck. And again, it's the fact that, like, other than offering a unique design and like the body material, the window material, like I don't see the advancements that Tesla is making to make, you know, they don't mention air fuel cells. I'm not sold on, you know, a brand new like Tesla without taking leaps forward. Weird, you know. I mean, the first Tesla was such a big jump, and now you're coming out with the truck. Like it's very fancy and everything, but I guess just an electric truck in general is like a leap forward, but he's not even going to be the first one to do that.
He'll be the first one. Well, he'll be the second, I guess. He'll beat F-150 to the punch.
Yeah, but
they haven't even announced what's on the inside yet. I was reading an article
Right.
from CNET, and they were saying that like the dashboard looked like it was made of foam, and it was very simplistic. It wasn't. It didn't
I heard
do
it
a
looked
whole
like
heck of a lot.
it was like a kitchen counter.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it looked
it's-
like a marble countertop, but it was made of foam. He said it was just like styrofoam like material. So
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
would
change it.
imagine being the prototype, they probably like this is the outside, the shell. This is what you can expect, but we haven't announced what features.
it's weird
and
that they
details.
would announce it so unfinished too, right?
The Model Y.
Well, they still have the Model Y, exactly. The Model
Yeah.
Y still has to come.
I'm literally shopping for my new Tesla right now. I don't even know. Right now, my purchase price is $48,000 for the Model Y. That's the one I can rationalize. I don't know about
What's
the truck.
that look
See,
like?
honestly, $70,000 for a fully loaded truck that can go 500 miles on a charge is a really good bargain. If you guys actually break down the numbers, if you buy a fully loaded Ford Raptor, what does that cost? And then extrapolate that to the gas prices, the maintenance, and all that stuff. Which is better? Actually, that Tesla truck is a bargain. It really
Look
is.
how good that Model Y looks though in comparison.
Well, it's small though. I got a family of 4. Am I going to fit that in there? Are we going to travel 300 miles to Phoenix? How far is Phoenix anyway? Right? Because that would be the destination for me. If I can make it to Phoenix, can't make it to Dallas. Maybe not Denver either. How far away are these places? That's for a local commuter. That's a good car, but that's a good car for a $20,000 local commuter, but not a $48,000. Where is your savings coming from? What's the benefit of the electric car beyond gas savings and the the world, of course, the global warming savings? But that kind of price, that's got to come down.
Yeah, you can't make it to Phoenix on 300. It's 418 miles to Phoenix.
See,
from
so
Albuquerque.
you can't. Yeah, so this is relegated. You're paying $48,000 to travel around your own city. Is that worth it? I mean, and then you got to compare what $48,000 cars can I get a hybrid? A Honda Accord hybrid fully loaded is going to cost you about $35,000, right? And they get 50 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but
you gotta-
even with the $70,000 Cybertruck, like you're only gonna get to Phoenix, and then you're gonna have to charge up again.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stay. Yep. So what's the value of it beyond the distance, right? You have the torque, you have the 0 to 60, you have the ramp that's going to hold your revolutionary new crotch rocket ATV.
Yeah.
It has a 16-inch lift.
Yeah,
which is the highest ride height.
air suspension. That's
adjustable air suspension
adjustable.
for aerodynamics on highways, and then off-roading up to 16 inches of lift.
And look
I
at those
think what would have
tires.
sold it. Yeah, those tires are sweet. I actually like those rims.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are hubcaps or what, but they're sweet.
Those are not street friendly tires.
No. Yeah, I bet that rides terribly at 100 miles per hour in 10 seconds.
From 0 to 60 is going to be you're going to be, think about it. Try to keep that thing going straight with the kind of torque that has. It's going to be it's going to be squirrely. That's the best word you can
Probably won't be so bad. You got all-wheel drive on that.
Yeah, it's all-wheel drive. Yeah, it's not 4-wheel drive. It's all-wheel drive. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So he said at 49,000, the price, the cost of owning this truck is what it would cost to own a truck at like 20,000, 25,000. So you're actually at $70,000, you're investing in like a $40,000 truck because gas and upkeep is extremely cheap.
Well, you pay for the electric charging because you're going to need, I think, stop me if I'm wrong, but you need a 220 to charge these things. You have to have a station to really actually to use it every day. For it to charge in 8 hours while you sleep, you need a 220, and then the actual electric cost to charge it is offsets gas a little bit. That's why they give them
a little bit
the miles per hour rating.
The more popular it gets, the more expensive electricity is going to cost in general.
Yeah.
Or they're going to put separate meters on your like charging ports eventually.
Oh, we go windmill turbine, electric power, or just go straight nuclear. The heck with
Yeah.
it, right?
Well, I
Then
mean, we're already doing that anyways.
Do you really need a 220 for this though?
I
don't
think
that
so.
You do.
I think
if
you
you
can
want
you don't
charge it
have
right
to
out of your house, no?
Yeah, you can
no,
charge
you
it
don't
out.
have to. But the 220, I think if you charge it out of your house, it's like 12 to 15 hours. If you run the 220, you get the 8
Like when
hour.
you
And
get home.
everybody, yeah, like if you literally want to come home at 5 o'clock and you want that thing charged and ready to go at 6 o'clock in the morning, then and you got to think about the people that are buying this. They're professionals. These guys are working 10, 12-hour days. They're commuting. You know, this is you're going to need to charge that in 10 hours.
That is a good point. You need that quick.
Because they don't have a lot of
charge
downtime.
port
They
in
have
your house is like, all right.
130,000 mile battery degradation is only 10% so far. First
That's really
Tesla
good.
model went to 135,000, I think, and it only lost 10% of its battery. It's
really
pretty
good.
sassy. It's pretty good.
You know what I would, you know what I'd rather have than this Tesla actually, is that truck, or sorry, the tractor.
Oh Jesus!
I think
Tesla truck.
no, not a Tesla tractor. It's the world's fastest tractor, and I have the link in the keep folder there. Actually, my problem too with the presentation, like since we've been talking about this, is like they didn't show like who's gonna buy. What are people doing with this, like in a work environment, off road? You know, I wish they would have like put in more practical uses for somebody that works
still
in an
like
off
2
road
years off of
situation.
production. They haven't even
Yeah,
They haven't
yeah.
started the Y yet. The Y is next year, and then that's the year after. So we have like quite some time before we see what any of that stuff is. The big win for them is if they could steal the practicality of the F-150 out of being the workman's truck. That's
Mhm.
why
Well,
the
hey,
F-150 is
If they could put like toolboxes and everything, but
the world's fastest tractor. I'm looking at it. It's so epic. Remember we were having a conversation. So one thing that's actually really neat, I told you guys about my camper sitting in my driveway, whether my Tesla was going to charge next to it. The F-150, the new hybrid F-150 actually doubles as a generator, which is really great.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever taken a camper into the woods, you always have to have a generator. You pull it out, you got to lug it over. It weighs 100 pounds. You got to fill it up with gas. High elevation, especially where we are. You go to Colorado, you're at 10,000 feet. It's sputtering. It's dying a horrible death. But your truck is actually the generator, which is really cool. I don't know if
this one, I read that this it has a generator and a compressor because it has a 120 volt and a 220 volt output plug.
You're talking about the F-150 hybrid?
No, the Tesla, the Cybertruck. It has a 120 output and a 220 volt output.
But how long does that last?
Yeah.
Because without a combustion engine, how do you recharge it? That truck is not something you want to take to the woods and find out you ran out of electricity. That's a huge downfall right there. There is no Tesla charging stations in the woods.
That's how you bring a solar farm and you wait like a month. You live
you're onto something. Actually, I've been out there and I've seen the boomers. They're out there and they have solar panels. They're wise and they plug them in. It's available.
That'd be cool too if they didn't mention any of the solar panels, but in previous Tesla versions, they've had solar panels on the top of the truck, on the roof, or
Yeah, I don't know why they don't make the tops of every car a solar panel and make them hybrid.
Some cars do.
But why
some
don't
cars
all
have? I don't know. That's a good question. Nobody wants
to
invest in the tech to do it.
The big win for me too with this truck is it has a retractable tailgate cover, so it retracts over the top of the bed of the truck. And
why isn't that a solar panel?
It looked like it was.
I like that.
It folds up inside the truck, so I don't think they could. I mean, I guess anything's possible. But.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not
you're
make
right.
it a solar?
Why isn't every horizontal space a solar panel on an automobile? I mean, seriously, we want to fix this issue. Is it not feasible? Doesn't? So I do know that solar
what car
panels
does it.
Well, there's solar panels have an efficiency rating. So I think my understanding is solar panels can only it's like a 20% to 30% efficiency rating. They can only take that much percent of the energy that they receive and actually turn it into usable energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be what the problem is, because if the surface area of a car might not be enough surface area to necessitate that much solar panel, you probably wouldn't get a return on your investment. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're
but there's
only
a
going to
few
get
things they
another.
could do with it. First off, what they should do if we start like talking about fixing like vehicles with solar panels, what you do is you put a boost pack like battery in the engine compartment, and you run the instruments off of it normally, and in the like occurrence that maybe your battery dies or something, you should be able to jumpstart your car off of it. But or like it dies, and like then the instruments in your car, like maybe just the overhead light, the stuff like that won't work
Yeah,
until the alternator
this is
starts up.
completely off, like derailing what you're talking about, but Teslas do that. When they
Yeah,
start to die, they start to shut things down. Like the AC
yeah.
stops working, and like the instrument panel turns off, and like all kinds of weird things start to shut down. It goes slower, like it gets all weird. They
Look,
like start to
I don't understand why cars don't do that in the first place. Like when your batteries gets like to 10% in your gas car, like they should stop. Like if you leave a light on, it shouldn't be able to drain your battery 100%. It should stop at like 10%, and then there should be a switch that cuts off. But anyways,
So I'm trying to order my new Tesla Cybertruck, and I'm sure it's a typo, but the self-driving selected model is $7,000 instead of 70, which is interesting.
it's $7,000 extra.
7,000 more. Yeah,
Is it Is that what it is?
yeah,
Yes.
7,000 more.
That's
Are you
same
guys
thing
talking-
with
It's
the.
expensive.
Wait,
It's
are you?
pretty
Is this for
expensive
the
to have
truck?
that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Okay,
now.
What?
yeah, it
Does
says.
what?
Yeah.
Wait.
Hold
It
on.
says an optional self-driving package costs $7,000.
There you go. I thought the self-driving version of that was actually 70,000.
Mm-mm.
So it's 7,000. Where do you? Oh, you ordered it now, right? You clicked on
Yeah.
order now and went through
So
that. Oh,
selecting full service driving today will secure your price as it increases in the future. They're like straight up. That's the assumptive sell you and I were
dude,
talking about.
it's way worth it. It's way worth it. The only thing that
Wow, look at
sucks
that,
is
like-
if they start adding more cameras, because your truck will only be fixed with the camera systems that they have. But they're upgrading the software like every fucking month, dude. It just gets better and better and better. Like they're learning how to merge on and off ramps now. They're getting to the point where they're going to be able to do in city driving by
Whoa.
itself, because at first it's only highway, but now they're going to be in city autonomous driving. And then the call function, which is kind of quirky, they're still working the kinks out on that. But you can call it like at a grocery store, like you coming, like let's say you're leaving the office and you're like, oh, it's cold outside. You can like call your Tesla and it'll pull out and pull up alongside the gate and or the railing, and like you can get in, never have to be in the cold for too long. It's nuts.
Some of these pictures are really good. Have you been on the website? You have, right, Epic?
Yeah.
Have you seen like there's like a grill attachment and like all types of crazy camping attachments on this thing?
Yeah, that's the future.
Where'd you get
Tesla
that?
hasn't announced that stuff, but that's coming.
There's like a tent attachment for the truck bed and everything. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So
there's
here's
that like, trailer.
You wanted a car that could go the distance. The Tesla Roadster has a 620-mile range, by the way. That's insane. 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. 0 to
Yeah.
100 in
How much is that?
4.2. A quarter mile in 8.8 seconds.
That's
Top speed is
100,000.
over 200. Yeah, Founder Series price is 250. Founder Series reservation first 1,000.
Where's the Founders isn't on here though?
Yeah, that's only for the Roadster. I'm reading it
See,
now.
those are good-looking cars. Why would they go so crazy with the Cybertruck?
I don't know. I'm gonna reserve it for sure. Absolutely. Why not?
I'm not a big
You have
fan of how
$50,000 for
that
the
whole-
Roadster?
You know why? You know why? Because if you read this, okay, it says the one I would like is the self-driving with the 500 miles range, fully refundable, $100. You will be able to complete your configuration as production nears in 2021, and the tri-motor all-wheel drive production, which is this one, is expected to begin in late 2022. So for $100,
Jeez.
you can reserve something that's going to come out. It's
3
not
years
going to hit
from now?
2022. Yeah, and
You know what it is?
It's badass. You should do.
You know
that.
what all right, this is we're gonna make this the final and best part of this roadster. Okay, Jim Carrey. Hear me out, okay? Jim Carrey, when he was younger, wrote himself like a $1 million check, right? He was like, someday I'm gonna be able to cash this. That's what you're doing right here. You're like putting your dreams into reality, and you're like, I'm gonna someday. 3 years actually. I have 3 years to afford this vehicle. Like I have 3 years to make myself that much better
And
in life.
it costs you $100 to make that commitment.
Yeah.
That's done. Done and done. Enter.
All right. Now, also a reason to buy the Cybertruck is the fact that California won't buy cars from GM, Chrysler, Toyota because they sided with Trump over the emissions laws that we talked about a while back. What was that? SSP 4 maybe? So California's cutting themselves off, and that's going to drastically increase the prices of vehicles there, which is going to drastically increase the price of minimum wage and pretty much everything else. So California is going to like take the high road until they like slip and fall off and need help from the low road.
It's already so expensive to live there anyway.
Yeah.
What are they thinking?
I don't know. Let's see. 4 automakers have reached a deal to cut emissions through improved. Let me read it.
In federal court cases, be a single set of emissions and mile rules nationwide. Currently, the Trump administration and the Environmental Protection Agency has stripped the right of California to set together emission rules for itself.
Yeah.
And for the United States.
It's going to be a wild world if that really happens, and I think that that was also part of the Trump fight.
Was the population of California is like insane. It's
yeah,
the highest populated state. They have to have.
Yeah, but it's also the most liberal, like.
Yeah.
Which is why they're so into doing this. There's it's one thing to say it and really want to do it, but it's another thing to like push yourself and your entire They already have one of the biggest homeless populations in the country, right? I mean, they got to be up there. And now they're going to increase the cost of just vehicles, which are needed to get in and out of LA, which are already insane, the amount of people and vehicles like moving around that city, and now you're going to make everybody that has to buy a new vehicle spend twice as much. Because any car company that wants to make a car in California has to meet those emission standards, which means that they have to increase the price because they're using more expensive parts, and like they're all going to be like hybrid or electric, and I'm sure they're going to keep all of a sudden batteries are going to be.
How much is this increased price? What are they having? Like, it doesn't specify, right? And
yeah, it doesn't specify. It's I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they're going to have to buy all hybrids. But the thing with a long time ago when they started making Prius batteries, like the batteries for Priuses, was the fact that that's multiple for Priuses, in case you didn't know, is voted on. It was said that the batteries
call you in your shit.
Yeah, no, it was said that the batteries were worse to make than, like, the carbon footprint of making the batteries was worse than the carbon footprint of like a Hummer after 10 years or something. Remember that? So like what
the evolution?
Where are we coming up with like all these batteries? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we? Yeah. We're mining out like loads of, what is it, alkaline still?
Yeah.
And it's just gonna increase and increase and increase on battery production. Like, what is that gonna do? Then are they not thinking about what battery production is gonna ruin? I mean, all those factories that mine out the materials for batteries are going to increase, and those aren't running on electric. They're trying to sell the batteries, not use them to run their factories. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. It's one thing to have a point, but it's another thing to ruin your state over it.
Right?
Well, yeah. Let's deviate from cars. I think we spent plenty of time.
Yeah, I don't know. California does do weird shit like that. They're notorious for it. I mean, they make you charge for plastic bags there. And I'm surprised they don't make you charge for the oxygen you breathe. The state's nuts. It doesn't, and I always hear this on the radio, and it's like you go to the grocery store and they're like 10 cents a bag for every plastic bag because we want to cut back on plastic bag waste, right? And then you get paper straws at Starbucks, and if you want anything else, you have to pay for all the extra stuff. But then you're in the produce department at the grocery store, and fruits and vegetables are wrapped in plastics. And it's like, well, what about that plastic? Are they charging 10 cents per plastic that they have to wrap on that? Because I'm sure that they're not. I'm sure that Whole Foods is not paying extra for that plastic. So they're making a racket out of something that has nothing to do with anything. At one point, California was trying to charge a text messaging fee, which is just insane. And it's gotten to the point where the cities are so big and the state is so big that they need to generate funds for stuff, but they go about it in the most awkward way possible. I mean, I don't know Tokyo's economic situation, but Tokyo's got more people per square inch than LA does by a long shot. It's like 4 times as much. There's 25 million people that live in Tokyo. And it's like, I don't hear Japan charging for text messages, but maybe they do. I don't know where they generate their money from, but I figure there's enough people that they're generating enough taxes.
Was it Seattle or California that had that huge tax on soda?
California.
Was it California? Yeah, they had some massive taxes on sodas.
Actually, I don't know.
No, I think it was Seattle. Let me look real quick.
Oh no.
But well, I'll
look
so
it
up
quiet,
next time or whatever.
But
they were a huge. There was this huge tax, and it was supposed to be. Oh, you ordered, Jesus.
You did order.
Oh yeah, so they put this tax on sodas and unhealthy snacks, I think, in order to keep people from buying it. But it was like a 6-pack of soda was like almost double priced because of the tax. But if you're worried about health issues, then all you got to do is figure out better tech to fix like people's sodaed up, like sugar hearts. I
agree with sugar taxes. I agree with that. I think sugar's the worst thing that ever happened to people.
Listen, man, we're in an age where you can 3D print hearts. Like, stop worrying about health concerns.
Bionic 3D printed human hearts? Why not?
What?
Diabetes? Yeah. Say no more. Drink yourself under the table, and then when you become a diabetic, we'll just print you a new spleen.
Print you a liver. Spleen. A liver. Yeah, well, I don't even know what spleens are used for.
I don't think they're used for anything. But whatever you want.
When was this article from? April 16th.
3D printed fucking.
Third
lung?
Yeah. Right now they're printing hearts with organic. What was it? They're using the process in order to print a 3D heart sounds really expensive, but by the time I have heart issues, hopefully they've perfected it.
So you're gonna have people like millionaires are gonna have they're gonna print like 2 or 3 sets of hearts so they can just work nonstop.
Well, they can just smoke and drink like socially.
Well,
they're butter shard all day.
Butter shard, beautiful drink.
This heart. Good. So the only problem with this heart though is the fact that it was only the size of a rabbit's heart. Yeah, they could scale it up. The other issue that I was reading is that it doesn't have the ability to contract, I think. Because you need different cells which work as like a muscle. You know, they'll receive like the electrical input of, the human body and, work accordingly, but they don't have that yet. Soon. By next year, we're gonna have it working.
No, a heart is much more than 3D printing. It's mechanisms and
Right.
valves. The
Yeah.
valves are the opening closing of the valves is where it's really. See, the Israelis seem to have created the first 3D printed heart. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you can blow it out of your chest and then put a new one in and blow it out again.
Right?
Fuck.
All
I
the
wonder if
McDonald's
this-
you can handle.
I wonder what the longevity of a 3D printed heart would be. You know, I mean, I wonder if it's
Yeah.
a better heart. Can they print
What-
better hearts?
Well,
What-
your
you get
body
like
rejects things. I mean, we have blood types, and there's a lot of variables there. If you think about
Well,
it.
you
yeah,
get the
but I think
Toyota
these are
Tercel of
synth.
hearts, and it's
Yeah.
like the Pontiac
I just
Fiero, and it's
I just
like
pre-ordered
oh,
my Tesla
fuck.
truck. Can I pre-order my new heart when I'm 85? Can I put
I
my
don't think
$100 down now?
You might want to pre-order that for a little sooner.
Yeah. Whoa.
Hey,
Pew, pew,
No, I'm just saying.
pew.
Like,
Shut
I'm
up.
just saying.
Yeah,
You don't want to wait.
incoming.
If you can get a new heart, like, why wait?
Oh, that was dirty.
Until the last minute.
Yeah.
Why
No,
not?
no,
Why
I
not
know.
have it when you're 65 and like
You're like,
as soon
hey,
as you
Dave.
retire, you're like fresh new life.
Dave, you and your lifestyle, you're good for about 10 years. I would go ahead and invest now. That's what you just said.
You might want to start dumping money into that. They still got a little research to do and they need money. So they take fatty tissue
much do you think
from
it's gonna
the
cost?
patient,
Yeah.
and then they
okay.
separate it into cellular and acellular cellular materials, and then they're
All this
programmed
is
to
going to turn
become
into is clones.
stem
And we're going to
cells.
have clone slaves doing all
Yeah.
the labor for us while we do nothing.
Well, you don't follow directions anyway, so let's go ahead and get somebody that's pre-programmed to my liking, and then they will do.
Think about that. Think about like if you could
Yeah.
create someone who could take the the levels of stress from a demanding job and like
Mhm.
have them
Well, you would just alternate.
exposed to not
To be
have that
ambivalent,
problem.
ambivalent to
ambivalent,
all. Yeah, then you can give them direct orders, and they follow those direct orders. But that's not human nature. So humans can weigh the pros and cons, the ups and downs of their decisions, and that's not what that is.
Why don't we just
That's
use
why-
homeless people? I don't understand.
Well, because homeless people
Are people
well, wait. All right.
Why do we have to go through the process of cloning? We already have people like out there like waiting to work.
Good. Yeah, perfectly good people on the corner.
Yeah, we'll just work their bones to the points of
Well, we don't
It
have to do
won't.
that. We
incinerating
just
them later.
substitute them. We just tag them in a little
I
bit.
see a
I
movie
mean,
on
for,
that.
all right, for the sake of, isn't that why they're homeless? Because they're
Yeah, because they can't work. Yeah.
or,
true.
yeah.
Well, some
So-
people can't get a good job. You know that happens too.
We'll just 3D
There's-
print
Not as
them
much,
what they're
but-
missing, and we'll put it in them, and then we'll put them in the workforce.
Yeah.
And they'll be
We'll just
fine.
reprint their
No.
brains.
No,
We already
there's
have the
stories of-
vessel. Oh, why waste all that time 3D printing a body? You could just reprint their brains. Come on now.
No, well, what you do is 3D printing of hearts and lungs and livers and all that. That's for people that have made bad life choices. You were joking about, hey Dave and your butter shard, and what are you doing with your life? Oh my God! But those are the people that this is for. They've made bad life choices, and now they're at the end of that road, and they have their body besides that organ has 20 more years, 30 more years to give. And but that organ, it's the liver, the lung, the heart.
You could give a lot of people in recovery a second chance. Like you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's a good point. So could you not take somebody that's facing that and give them an opportunity? Now they have 30 years to be of value to society and teach people. That's what we don't. There's some people worth saving and there's some people worth not. But I don't know where the threshold is.
Well, what about like lung cancer? Could you just take out the lung and 3D print one without it?
Why do you need a 3D printed lung? Can't you have a backpack with a pump on it? I mean, why stop at the 3D printed lung? Isn't there a less invasive, more economical solution to that, right?
No, you got to get the cancer out.
Yeah.
What if it grows? Like, what if it grows? They prematurely can grow it fast. Like they put it in your mouth and you swallow it to place or something, and then it's like and it grows and it fills up like like a vacuum bag. It like just becomes a lung in there again. I guess, yeah, thinking about replacing someone's lungs is devastating because you got to like saw their chest plates open. That's like not an easy thing to get done at all.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I've
but
seen a stapled chest, and it ain't pretty, and I want nothing to do with that. Ugh.
External limbs can be easily fixed with 3D printing. We have that article too. The bionic hand made in 10 hours.
Did you just say Luke Skywalker? That's all I heard you say right now. That's what you just said. I flash back to being a 8-year-old boy watching Luke Skywalker get his prosthetic hand, and that's amazing. That's exactly where we need to go.
Yeah, that works. That's not invasive. And let's see. The one problem I have with this is that hand looks terrible. They might have wanted to take a little bit more than 10 hours to make that thumb better. That's like the biggest thumb I've ever seen in my whole life. And also we don't have any footage of it working. Let me see if I can find something like that. The overall concept though is pretty sweet. I don't know if they can like link it up to work or not. Made to measure bionic hand in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's not that hand.
I don't think it's
a
working. Yeah.
No, it's not socially acceptable. It's more of a.
They could have made it a skin. Right. Like all they have to use is like skin tone material, right?
Yeah, but isn't this going back to our Tesla truck? Isn't this the Tesla truck of prosthetics here?
I guess.
Right?
Some people are gonna want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
it's
people
angular.
Like
It's angular. It's obviously a prototype, but you go from here and you continuously refine. But the real discussion, in my opinion, is like Cyberpunk, the new game coming out. Where do you go from prosthetics to enhancements? Where does that begin and end? Right? Because one person's savior, hey, I got this new hand, I didn't have an arm, is another person's, hey, I wish I was a little faster, I wish I was a little stronger, I wish I was a little smarter. Where do we start with this and end with that? Because isn't this going there eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. That we're all going towards like really, like you said, like Epic said, 3D printing people and fitting them with bionic hands so that they can work better. And where does it stop? And how soon is it gonna take over? And who's gonna be able to afford it? Are you gonna Are you gonna lose jobs because you're not like getting bionic hands to like type faster?
Right. Or you're not seeing clear,
or putting chips in your head. Like they only want CEOs to have the chips in the head. Like how much are they gotta charge a lot so that common folk can't realize how screwed they are.
They already know. Everybody knows.
Yeah. Speaking of is Cyberpunk 2077 out? What's the deal with that game?
February?
Oh God. Oh,
have you seen the previews?
Let's talk about that. Hang on, let me put this article.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that. That game is going to be. I don't know if you've played The Witcher, but
I don't like The Witcher.
What did we get ourselves into?
That's where you see, but you're. Stop me if I'm wrong. You haven't played The Witcher, right? You haven't played it,
right? Yeah, no, I don't want to.
So you've made a grave mistake, my friend, because
I don't play single player games.
Exactly. You've alienated yourself from what The Witcher is. And The Witcher, let's take away you don't like single player games. Let's take away it's a role playing game. Its controls are clunky. Everything sucks, right? But when you actually play it, it's an engrossing tale that it tells a story. It's one of the few games that encapsulates a story, a true like mythological story, and it brings you into its era. You feel like you're a medieval witcher.
I played Skyrim.
Yeah, no, it's not Skyrim. It's not the same thing either.
Yeah, well, I know. It's similar, though.
No, you're jumping around.
Yeah.
You have to play it. You have to play it to understand. No, the essence of what it does and what it captures. That's why it's one of the best-selling games ever. It really captures something. I didn't believe in it either. I was like, this game's stupid. I actually played it the first time, and the controls are clunky. The story is convoluted. The graphics were kicking my computer's ass. But as I kept playing it, like the story captures you, and you start feeling so much so that my family knows his girlfriends and the battle between their relationships and the people that he actually brought together to go to war with him. They know all their characters, they know their names, they know the story.
I played
It's
Skyrim.
cool. No, it's nothing like Skyrim.
Listen, man. In Skyrim, I had a wife. Okay, I remember our first like outing in the dungeons. No, So you think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be as good as The Witcher? Better at immersing you in a new world, making you feel like a different person, and not a person you're making your own.
Yeah,
I mean, Cyberpunk.
I don't know. I don't know better, but I think that I gave the people that made The Witcher a chance, and they captured my imagination. So I'm actually very.
Did they make? Are they making Cyberpunk?
Yeah, there's people that made The Witcher making Cyberpunk.
Oh,
you know they might
that's
put Tesla's truck in there.
If they do, I'm going to buy it either way. Can I reserve both? Is this a thing?
Holy
wow!
Have you seen Cyberpunk play though?
I love this country. Yeah,
that you want to talk about a game that's going to make your computer whistle. Good lord.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
neon.
Before, but that has nothing to do with the story and the nuances. I mean, the developer of Witcher, hats off to them. The relationships I've never seen a game developer capture relationships like they did in The Witcher. That's why everybody loves it. It's literally a story about relationships. It's awesome. Yennefer. You guys, you even know who Yennefer is? If you actually Google that, there was a difference between Yennefer and his other concubines that he frequents, and my daughter and my wife's like Yennefer was the one that captured their mind. He can't be with these other women. He's with her. He needs to invest his love into her. It's like,
well, that's because you were playing it around like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but these are passerbyers that have no interest in video games.
Yeah.
So for them to catch on to that and through a 80-hour campaign and to see the growth of that, it was interesting. Even laymen can get into it. So so the whole gist of what I'm saying is I'm really excited about what I think they can do, because we've touched on the cybernetics and the prosthetics and the 3D printing and all of these things. If you can extrapolate that into good storytelling and relationship building, that's going to be a good game.
You got to think really, like 10% of what's in Cyberpunk 2077 is already in existence, and like another 10% is like a fair prediction, at least.
Yeah,
for the future.
Well, it's,
in that regard, like I don't think they could have a better argument or piece, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're putting themselves in a time zone and an environment that's so ready for us, I guess.
Well, it smacks of Deus Ex. That's what a lot of people say. They're like, it's very similar.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but so like related. Like you're so predisposed to all this stuff already,
right?
And you're so ready for all the other stuff that you're not predisposed to, that they're already guessing is going to happen in the future. You're like, oh yeah, for sure, that sounds reasonable, even though it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the previews, right? The previews are pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
They're pretty. They're very pretty. Yeah.
Storytelling. You know, I'm gonna call you out. You're a jaded graphics denier. Let me put it that way. There we go.
A jaded graphic denier.
Yeah.
What my problem with graphics is?
I'm a graphics whore. I admit it. Let's put that out there. I'm a graphics whore. I love graphics.
That's because you can afford. That's because you can afford it.
Absolutely.
You push your PC to do it. I can't.
Absolutely. So you're a jaded
that's why I deny it.
Denier. There you go. Right.
That's like why would anybody buy a yacht? Stupid yacht. It's like I would totally buy a yacht if I could.
No, so what I'm trying to appeal to you and anybody that's not up on the graphics level, and that's not what appeals to them. Is really the storytelling is super. It really is. It's really good.
Graphics or no graphics, the story is gonna be sweet. And Keanu Reeves is in it, and I love Keanu Reeves.
Oh God, he's in there. Nah, game sucks.
What's your problem with Keanu?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
keep
yeah.
people out of that shit. I'm tired of seeing like games developed around. Like all I see when I see that game is Keanu Reeves. All I see when I see is Death Stranding is the dude that played in Walking Dead.
Oh,
Like,
Mr. Big Death Stranding fan suddenly
all
has
I
a
see
problem.
is that. That's the
Whoa.
biggest issue I have with both of those games is that they have like I don't that Star Wars game does the same thing. That black guy with the crazy eyes in there. It's like all I see is him in getting slaughtered by the Predator, and it's like I don't see anything past that.
Hey,
like, it's
wait,
not,
hold on. Let me call you off for a minute because you haven't played Death Stranding, you haven't played Star Wars, you both of you haven't played Witcher. You guys are
Single
taking
player.
guys, you're taking a tiny opinion about something you've Googled or watched in a little snippet. Enjoy these experiences. They're all
Listen,
valid.
I'm not saying they're not good. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a valid experience for someone else to have, but those games suck.
they don't suck. That sucks.
Touche. No, obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion,
Yeah.
but
It
I would say
doesn't. That's
have
not
an
what
open
I'm not
mind.
saying the game sucks. What I'm saying is make a character that I can feel like I have.
It's
the
immersion
beginning-
breaking.
Yeah, like okay, this person I've never seen before. Like in Horizon Dawn, like you feel like you have empathy for this girl, and you're involved in her story, and you care for her pains and her. But when it looks like Keanu Reeves, you're like, oh, that's that douchebag who fucking was in fucking
Oh God.
Matrix.
Right?
Like that's
Well, hey,
all I see is Matrix. I don't see the story. I see him, and it's like
Then
all
you
I'm
start
seeing
looking
is
for
his
Easter
movies, and
eggs.
it's another actor, and all it was just running through
it's
the mills.
suspension
Now
of disbelief. You have to incorporate suspension of disbelief. You can't be a jaded consumer of entertainment.
we have That's why Skyrim and Elder Scrolls are so great because those characters have never been seen before. They're unique to that game. Like you falling in love with this person because he's not a human being that you've seen somewhere else. You don't feel like you're getting duped into paying money to watch a movie. I'm not watching John Wick, or I'm watching fucking John Wick. I'm not watching Cyberpunk. I can't stand that.
John Wick is amazing, by the way.
If he's the voice actor, that's fine. I can handle the voice acting. That's a different story. I like that. I like investment and like good actors like getting involved, but I hate motion captured faces of people who are they've done other things and they stuff them in my games. It's like, get your fucking Keanu Reeves ass hair out of my Cyberpunk.
You know that's going to be more and more the norm, right? As motion capture gets better.
The Star Wars is doing it. That game's doing it. There was the other one that was doing it.
But it's a good game. And then the actor that plays the guy in Star Wars, that's a good game. It really is.
Yeah, but what if there's a Cyberpunk movie where he plays... You know what I'm saying?
Now we're getting down the rabbit hole. That's
so you know what I'm pumped about?
Okay.
But Witcher and Cyberpunk come from CD Projekt. Okay, and it's a Polish video game developer. Seriously, from Poland.
Polacks.
Hey, see, all right.
Hey, I'm part Polak. All right.
Yeah, you watch your mouth.
That's why I hate The Witcher. No.
Yeah, No, but
stupid Polacks hate The Witcher. No.
That's all I had to say. That's really all I had to say. These guys, it's a Polish game developer. They started in 1994. We're talking about a small studio doing big things, trying to be something great. Come on, guys, you can put your support behind people like that, right?
I can do that. I'm not saying I can't. You're getting it chopped up here. I think that the fact is the game's great. The stories are magic.
Fuck Cyber, fucking whatever. Fuck Keanu Reeves' game.
I don't want to see an actor like in my fucking game. I don't want to see that. He can talk. That's fine. That's great. He's an actor. He can do that very well. He can captivate. They can do all the motion captures that they want, but I don't want to see that person. It feels like you're getting duped. It feels like it's a money grab.
No. Every time you see Keanu Reeves in a movie, you're gonna be like, "It's fucking Keanu Reeves. Look at him. He's in another movie. He's an actor. That's what they do." So give him a
but he's a sticky fucking shit actor. He's not a good actor at all.
Okay, all right. Let's dead that. Okay.
No, he sucks. And if you think he's great.
Oh.
I do.
He's not
I do
great.
enjoy,
He plays
I do
the
enjoy
same character
Keanu Reeves
every movie.
I do
Every single
enjoy
movie,
Keanu
he's
Reeves.
just quiet, look at you out of the top of his eye or
But it
off the
fits
side
sometimes.
of his face actor.
He
In
doesn't have.
every movie, he does the same thing. It's
So
the
he doesn't
same
have
person.
depth.
It's
It
like
doesn't mean that
Robert
he
De
hasn't
Niro
landed
is
some
now.
great
It's like,
roles and
Jesus
filled them.
Christ, he's the same person. So is fucking what's the other dude's name? Al Pacino. It's like, oh my God, here's another Al Pacino movie
Oh,
acting like a
God.
mob boss. What else is new? Like, give
Yeah,
me a
but you
break.
can't
He
tell
was
me that
great
you
when he
hate
was
every Al
doing it at
Pacino
first.
movie.
No, but now it's getting old. It's like, all right. And if he shows up in my game, I'm like, okay, oh God, what character could he possibly play? Oh, let me guess. He's going to play a loner fucking guy who's all fucking quiet and to himself. And he's going to be fucking saving the world, but he's going to do it at his terms. It's like,
Yeah,
give
but
me
if
a
you
break.
need that
You
character,
pick Keanu Reeves the
who
fuck out of
better
my
to
game.
pick?
Right. I like
They
that.
made it around him. Don't act like they were like, I wonder who would be the best person for this epic story we're building.
Not the
No.
Cyberpunk didn't build the game around Keanu Reeves. He's
No, but
he's a
that
game,
character they fulfilled, they probably built it around him a little, at least a
No,
little bit.
they just brought him. They brought him in. That's smart. That's smart marketing. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. The guy won't even pose with women, touching them in public because of
He's a bitch.
he's cognizant of the Me Too movement. Come on, this guy is very aware of social everything.
He's a dude.
Right?
What if you started like getting big ass roles and then like you just got, but you kept getting hired?
He made a movie
you
about his
wouldn't
dog
keep doing
getting
it?
killed, and his dog got murdered. His dog died.
I think
it's time for me to
start getting serious.
There
Oh,
you go.
it's his line in every movie. Keanu Reeves summed them up
he goes,
right there.
My wife will tell you. He goes, "Whoa, that's it."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. He's like Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
Like, that's your shtick, huh? You fucking Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Listen, I am excited for
8K
2077.
holographic displays.
Yeah, look, you could be someone that's not even interested in the story and still love that game though, because it does look
great.
like it's gonna be cool.
It looks really good.
I'm a huge proponent of that game. I think those kind of games actually drive the genre.
Running through like the neon, like bathed, like under fucking belly of some city through alleyways, and it's raining.
Yeah.
It's like that's nuts.
It captures your imagination.
Fucking takes you in, and then Keanu Reeves' bitch ass face pops out, and I fucking want to put my fist through my monitor immediately.
His 8K
Can you
face.
blur his face out? If you can blur his face out, I'd buy it.
If his face is an 8K, can you forgive it? I mean,
No, because it just looks real. It
What
just looks
about-
like his stupid faces in the game again? Maybe they made it mushy. I turn my graphics down when he comes on. I'll turn him down to low, so he's just a mushy faced like blob thing.
He's like, whoa.
Okay. Well, everyone's still looking forward to it. It's going to be one of the better games that comes out. I had no other gaming news this week, actually. I looked at games coming out in December, and I couldn't find a single one that I cared about. So, that's the only game we have. But
have you seen this 8K holographic display? Is that what you were going to go to next? Or did you have something else?
Let's go. Yeah. I got sidetracked off that, but let's go back to the holograms.
Have you seen
let's see
this
if
thing?
Dave, have you seen this?
Jesus Christ.
I'm looking. What are we looking at?
It'll fry your face off. This thing is insane. It's the future. If you don't have one, you're missing the boat.
Wait, hold on. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, screw a Tesla truck. Pre-order this.
I just ordered a fucking Tesla truck. You
guys
guys.
just bought a $60,000
Yeah, $77,000 truck. I just ordered it just now.
Yeah, this looking glass. I can't even understand the technology behind this.
I'm looking. I don't see it in our keep.
It's up towards the top. Holograms. There's the two links. Digital Trends has it, and then I have the link for Looking Glass Factory, which is
Looking Glass. Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
Whoops. Which is the official
This thing
one.
is nuts. It's nuts. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. Does it ever say how much it costs?
Yeah.
Say what
well, not the big one. You have to talk about the
holograms
big one.
without the headgear.
You can get a 15.6 inch for 3K.
So
no, that's a development kit. 6K.
Why is it so zoomed in? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I had to go to the actual Looking Glass Factory link because Digital Trends is like pissing me off. I was so mad about that. It just kept zooming in. So what it is
So
it's a holographic display.
It's a high definition 3D holographic display.
Yeah, 8K like holo display. I don't understand how it works though. That's my problem.
So I'll give you one of the features, and you'll read it as you're going through this article. But the angular viewing points are different depending on where you're sitting in the room.
Yeah.
So
so you both look at it.
If you're looking at it from the front, it's a different view than if you're looking at it from a 45-degree angle.
You don't need glasses or anything.
So, like, I had a conversation with my son today about he wants to be I don't know what it's called.
You're gonna have 1,000 of those conversations.
No, but it's an aeronautics engineer. No, he's on it.
Okay.
So what's the space version of that? Because he was telling
aerospace engineer.
All right, he must be an aerospace engineer.
Are you sure?
Right?
That feels like you rifled that off a little quick.
I did rifle that off.
No, that was you had that in your hip pocket. Like, wow, yeah, good job. Yeah, you
also aspired.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like
he
you
knows my
talked.
son too, so
yeah, like you talked to him this morning.
You two get together tomorrow or whatever. You guys hash it out. But so I could see something like this for that field. Honestly, engineers. Yeah.
They bring up like medical practices as well. Always.
Yeah, medicine's the easiest thing to sell to because everybody's.
Nah, but I see engineers like. Actually, think about it. Like, let's just take it at the most
look at a
basic
part.
form. Yeah, like a bridge. You know, you can zoom into the bolt on the side of the bridge, and then
8K at 60 frames per second.
That's where the 8K comes in. Yeah,
it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But it's the dimensions of what you see are dependent upon where you're standing, looking at the screen, which is nuts. Like, so you're looking at a person. Like, if we're watching a movie, we're not watching the same movie. If you're sitting on any side that's not front, you're not seeing the same movie as somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you could theoretically film a movie in like three dimensions, and it could be different experiences for people.
No, yeah, I think you need actual 3D generated. Like I don't know if you could film and then have it look 3D like that.
If you have three different camera angles recording the same image at one time, right?
Yeah, but if you're at a severe angle right there, I mean, you can look in the side, but there's angles to the actual lens itself. You know, right there. There's 90-degree angles to the lens, unless it's curved. Then if you're at an angle at all, see a different skewed perspective. And you're gonna have the angle.
So
it's not skewed. It's not legitimately different.
It's different. Yeah, it says the Looking Glass 8K reproduces not only the true dimensionality of I botched that of the real world, but also critical details that are impossible to capture with 2D screens. Like the glistening off a character's eye on the specular reflections off of a
needs to come out more than
world.
If you're gonna have a frog in a case, then you need to have a frog in a case. They have a frog in a 30% view case.
Yeah, that's not what that's not the one. That's the
big
different thing.
Yeah.
So how exactly does it work in a word? Cleverly, as Frine points out, every pixel display that's ever been created up to this point measures pixels in only 2 dimensions. Brightness and color. The real world is a bit more complex. In addition to these properties, the light bouncing around in the real world also has directionality.
Mm-hmm.
The Looking Glass 8K adds this through our proprietary light field technology, which effectively generates at least 45 distinct and simultaneous perspectives of a 3-dimensional scene at 60 frames per second. That means that groups of people can gather around the Looking Glass 8K and see a unique stereoscopic view of virtual content, just as they would if they were looking at it in a real scene in a real world.
Wait, hold on. No,
Dave,
guys. Listen, is this gonna tell me exactly what my new Tesla truck's gonna look like?
Yes.
But only at one of the 45 possible angles. You have to be. It's going to be different everywhere you look. That's nuts.
Dave, take a look at that link I put. The huge big link underneath the Looking Glass Factory.
So it says, to imagine what this might
Open
mean,
that.
visualize the difference between watching a movie on a flat screen and watching a live production. Sit on the furthest seat to the right of or left of a movie screen, and you'll have, in essence, the exact same viewing experience as the person sitting in the center of the theater. Sure, you might have to crane your neck a bit more, but you don't see more of the side of Brad Pitt's face because of where you're sitting. When it comes to a stage play, concert, or sports game, however, things are different. That's what they're talking about.
So what you're showing me, so what I'm
When
saying,
you
if
when
I
you walk
click the right thing,
around, yeah,
but you have you're on a flat plane, and where you walk around is showing you the 3D perspective, right?
right, but yeah, but not just you. Everyone sees a different perspective in the room
So what's
from
this
where they're
monitor?
standing.
This monitor doesn't exist.
That's what they're
Oh,
making.
They're
Yeah, the
making
flat.
it.
Because all right, so what I'm looking at for the initial thing we were looking at was it's 3D, like, so it goes horizontally and
There's a
deep
depth, yeah.
vertically, yeah. So you're looking from the sides, and that's what I was saying. So if you're looking from the side, it's like looking
Yeah.
in the side of a jewel case. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to have the seams of the
Yep.
corner. You're going to have the seams of the side. The seams are going to break the illusion, right?
Mhm.
But what you guys are arguing is that the idea is that it's going to be flat, and anywhere from 180 degrees, because that's the maximum angle that you're going to be seeing a flat screen, right?
45 degrees. Let's say within 45 degrees, because there's 45
So let's say
different angles.
if I'm standing over
Or
at
90.
67 degrees, if I'm standing at 67 degrees,
Yeah.
I'm going to see a true replication of 67 degrees in that picture. Whereas someone that's sitting at 0 degrees, dead center, is going to see a different perspective.
Mhm.
Yep. At the same time, in live time, at 60 frames per second, 8K.
8K.
I
don't know what
I call bullshit.
I
all
call
day
wizardry, magic,
Yeah.
and lies.
Yeah.
Fucking Witcher wizards.
The Tesla truck is real. This is bullshit.
Dude, I'm
It's
telling you,
nuts.
that's the craziest thing. If you walk around the TV, the screen, it's a different image as you walk. It's a frozen image that looks different as you look around.
They would have to have. How do they measure that if you don't have something?
You can't even wrap. Dude, we can leave 3D printed hearts.
I'm not gonna fucking sleep tonight because you guys.
I did the same thing the other night. Epic sent that to me, and it was my nightmare the entire afternoon. I was like, how does this?
No.
How are they projecting it out into this like jewel case area, and like they create fake depth in the back?
I think the jewel case is necessary to create the illusion
because you have to project it in depth.
It's an illusion. It's tricking your eyes.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah, it has to be actually 3D rendered in a 3-dimensional space, which is why they need that jewel case.
We've all played 3D VR, right? You guys all have you've played a Quest or a Rift or a Vive or whatever. But when you get in that space, the computing power to actually render movement in real time is astronomical. And there's I really don't see a scenario where they can take a flat screen and have, let's say, 10 people standing horizontally next to each other, and each person has a different skewed perspective.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I'm not buying
well,
that.
With this, that one is like pretty flat, considering.
I can see the jewel case. I can see that.
Yeah, you can see it, but not much.
Yeah, so I can see like stepping to the side of the jewel case and saying, "Okay, I'm on the side of it now. I see the side," and it's doing.
That's what I really want to see is the side. Let me see like into that thing, like.
Now I want to be 160 degrees on a LCD, and I want to be able to see what I'm looking at that
the very
angle.
Side of someone.
Yeah, in contrast to someone that's looking at it dead on. Like we should have two different perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're getting there.
Unless it's projecting a 3D image, I think projection is beyond encapsulation.
Yeah, but you got to start with what they're starting with is encapsulation, basically.
Yeah,
I think in essence, the birth of this will be holograms.
Yeah,
that's
this is a step forward towards it.
Yeah, this is a way to have. I mean, if you have a flat panel screen that's producing images like that, you got to think at some point they're going to be able to put like a whole, like a big ass box that's going to project images and then eventually they'll be standalone.
Because then it'll be like a room that you stand in where they can project things in front of you.
That frog is killer. Honestly, I've been watching this loot for like 20 minutes now, and that frog is messing me up because I like it. It's good. But the only thing I think is when I hit the side, when I hit the left and right, everything is awesome. Like VR is beautiful until you put your head in it and you try to expand its boundaries. What if I do this, right?
Yeah.
And you know what happens when you do that. It's not good.
Yeah,
but
I see what you're saying. Looking through the bottom and the side of the glass.
The key to that is like understanding like you understand how that works. You know what I'm saying?
That's the biggest. That's actually why 3D like VR doesn't necessarily. Well, it can trick your mind, but the way that it has to trick your mind is by blocking your peripheral. I learned about that a long time ago. That like your brain will not believe in 3 dimensions until your peripheral vision is blocked, because your brain will adhere to what it'll try to see what it can't necessarily see, I guess. So you have to block that off. But even then, like you were saying, if you overstep the boundaries, then the software starts to like tell you you're threatening to either hurt yourself or something else.
Hurt yourself.
Beware.
Yeah,
beware. You're leaving your safe zone.
Watch for the couch. It's suspension of disbelief, and that has to do with the uncanny valley, and it has to do with VR and graphics in general. Is that you have to be able to understand that what we're trying to do is replicate reality, and we simply can't do it because the human mind is capable of an enormous amount of synapses and connections and visual and mental. There's so much processing going between what your ocular is seeing and what your mind is processing, and we should stop trying to do that, in my opinion, and we should start trying to create what our intention is through lesser mediums. Like, have you guys ever played a game where there's block figures and you're like, well, this is fucking awesome because these guys are doing exactly what I want, exactly what the physics is right, the intention is right, the idea is right?
Like
there's a biking game, I forget what it's called. I was playing it on Xbox, the Game Pass, right? Yeah. And the graphics suck. Everything about it sucks, but the physics is right, and the momentum. The momentum is right. Everything about that is right. And
oh God, Bleeding Thumbs. What is the name of that fucking game?
I don't know what it's called.
Ubisoft.
But it's a good
forever, Trev. We were trying to beat.
You're not talking about Trials.
No,
it's Trials.
No, not Trials.
Yeah, I agree with Trials being great.
There's a new game it's like Trials, but it's a biking game going downhill.
It's a stupid little biking game. Yeah, Mike plays it too, actually.
Yeah, it's a stupid biking game, but it actually illustrates where we are. We should be more humble in where we are in the uncanny valley. I love the uncanny valley. It tells us that
that's why Cyberpunk is going to suck.
No, touche. I digress on that one. But guys, you guys can understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
We need to.
You want it to work right, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get the core. You want to build a strong foundation before.
Photorealism doesn't exist because unless it's real, it's not. And we need to stop pursuing photorealism and start pursuing what our agenda is. Like, okay, so we want to teach people to ride a bike. Let's make a bike simulator. We want to teach people to look at a frog. I'm looking at that frog again.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that it works right first before it looks good. You want to build a strong foundation before you put the house on it,
Exactly. And what we're doing is we're building the house and we're not building the foundation. That's an incredible metaphor. Good job. I like that.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
I'm a big proponent of strong foundations.
Good.
In many different regards. All the regards, actually. If you don't start, that's why DayZ sucked. That's why PUBG sucked. That's why Fortnite was okay, but
no, you're wrong. They did not suck. They blazed trails that they weren't ready to. They didn't know the next step. And then what? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, they were building They had the house ready. They didn't have the foundations, but the house looked good. Or the idea behind like what they were gonna. It was a shop. The idea behind what was gonna go in there was good, but like everything else was wrong. You know, like
Yeah, so
Daisy
this
had a good concept, but they couldn't flesh it out because they had the worst engine for it, and they couldn't build it efficiently, and they didn't optimize it and all that.
right, so that's a great example. So if they had taken an existing engine that was stable, let's say like even something like
A
Unreal
really good
3,
engine, yeah.
right?
Unreal would have been better.
But not Unreal 4, Unreal 3, something
Mm-hmm.
small, something and or Frostbite or whatever, and they actually
Chinese
built it off of
frostbite.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
also
well,
need
anybody can say anything.
people
I get what
capable
you're saying, but yeah.
of coding efficiently too. You need people that
scalability.
are you need people that are professionals
That's what's
at like
happening
making
with
things
Mordau right
efficient.
now. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole, but that's what's wrong with Mordau. That's actually the
Mhm.
biggest issue with that game right now is that the developers and the people that are in charge of and heading that game off don't think that the genre is worth spending effort to produce something worth having as far as a game for competitive play or large scale gameplay. Like they think that what they have now is what they're just going to leave with, and they're going to stay that way, and that they don't need to do anything to change it, which is a crock of shit because they sold so much. You know, people are still wanting to play the game. They need to invest in it, expanding the game in the right direction versus just leaving it
Well,
as it is.
this
And
is a problem with this is a big problem with games today is that you
DayZ
have
was
two
or PUBG was the same way.
you have there's a dead way that we used to make games, and that was making the game and then that's the game while they work on the second game. And then now we have this like you make the game and then you keep working on it to like expand it so that people keep playing it. And
Because making the second game is a whole turn that they don't want to experience. It's a paradigm shift.
well, this is I think where these things should be like assessed. Okay, when you make a second game, you should do that when you have a bad foundation, when it's not coded efficiently, when it's not like running the right engine. That's when you should drop your plans to continue fixing a game that's fundamentally not going to work in the long run. And that's like PUBG. Like PUBG was a great game when it came out because it was different, but it was never going to be good because it didn't have the reliability for that. It was never going to be able to have better animations
It was the
and
Pontiac Fiero of the
yes,
video
like the
game.
Pontiac Fiero, like it was meant to burn to the ground.
Yeah.
So like why keep putting money into like fixing the engine and all the tubes that are suddenly like bursting into flames? Like why keep doing that? Why not like just drive that until you get
because
a
of the
Cybertruck?
initial investment. So I like to think that I know about business, and my perspective is you have an initial investment.
Mhm.
So
But they get
if you're
that back easy.
They did
if it's successful,
and it was.
only
PUBG
if
was.
yeah.
And
So
Mordau.
but there, what is the rule of capitalism is the exponential increase of profits and profitability over time, right?
Mhm.
And that's what they want to do. So to stop tracks and to say,
But
okay,
Mordau isn't even profitable over time. They don't even have microtransactions.
Hey, Epic, give me a background on Mordau if you can. Who's the publisher and where they come from?
Small studio, brand new.
It's some studio out of Sweden. I can't even think of it. It's like
Right, all right.
Tribarion
No,
or
but that's all you had to say right there. Mordau multiplayer melee game. Yeah.
It's
We all know
basically people that came from Chivalry, not
Yeah.
not developers from Chivalry, but like people that
Some of
wanted to
them are.
continue. Yeah, well, yeah, some of them are devs from Chivalry. And they wanted to continue on what Chivalry was by making a new game with
Triturnion.
Yeah.
Mordell is a multiplayer medieval hack and slash video game developed by Slovenian
Slovenian.
independent. They're from
The Slavs. The fucking
Yugoslavia.
Slavs.
They're from the Slavia side of Yugoslavia.
But anyways, they got 30 million. They sold 1 million copies at $30. Plus,
Right.
more than 1 million copies at $30, right?
These guys are
Like-
living in fucking shacks. You know that they're from communist countries that
Yeah,
are
but all you have to do is
90% of everything they get.
Yeah, but all you have to do is like you take that money and then that's what you use to develop your next game.
They don't own the property. Do you think these guys actually own their own property? Where do you think they got the money to start?
The sociology kicks in.
Yeah.
Let's down in the weeds on these motherfuckers. They
Yeah.
don't even think of that angle. That's a good point. They might just be embarrassed to say that, but they haven't produced anything for the game as far
Yeah.
as like people are begging.
Somebody
for
might have backed them that they had to.
Yeah, no, they had
Somebody backed them that they owed all
yeah.
the money back to. They were like,
Yeah,
okay,
they-
well,
they
we
went-
only
they-
need 10% of this.
Yeah, they went to Russia. Come on, now we know what happened. They went to Russia.
The problem is
They said we need 100
PUBG's the same then.
Sokolovs.
And
Yeah,
Daisy.
whatever. What's the
But
fucking?
the problem was that people want a competitive play. They want games. They want it to be competitive. And what had happened is they promised in the Kickstarter that they were going to have a 2v2 and a 3v3 competitive multiplayer scene, so that you would be ranked with true skill and so forth and so on. Whatever. What ended up happening is they released
They
a
were
1v1
kickstarted.
first. But the problem was the
Or
1v1 wasn't supposed to be there. And now they don't want to make the 2v2 and the 3v3 because they think the genre is dead. But it doesn't, it's just the same thing with pub. Like when pub came out, people were like, well, you could fix the fact that only 3 audio clips are playing at a time. And they're like, no, we don't care about that. Well, what about let's make a game where you can play at night? Well, no, that's not the direction we're going in. Well, what are you doing? Because you're not advancing the game anywhere. You're taking it, you got all the money, you made all of this headway, you did all of this stuff that was revolutionary, and then you're just going to yank the carpet out from underneath yourself and not make a sequel to the game. Like what makes PUBG good and what makes Mordau good is the mom and pop of it, the feeling that it's eclectic or whatever, that it's unique to its experiences, but you could do so much more if you just took what it is now, honed in on those specific things that make it nice without being goofy and silly and not taken seriously, and then make that the game that everybody wants. And
So
it's
what
like,
you
that's
what you want is you want to
well.
keep it where it's good and build upon its strengths, right?
Yes, and they don't want to do that. No one. I don't even know how we got into this. I don't know what the original argument was. Now we're so far. In
Well,
the
Dave
weeds, I
was
forgot what
talking
it was.
about the hologram TV and basically saying we
yeah.
need to stop like trying to
Yeah.
show off things that don't really matter and focus on the fundamental of it.
Yeah,
You need to build what you
basically.
want rather than like
You should focus on the fundamentals of your battle
Yeah.
royale game.
Do what you're good at. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
if you're trying to
Yeah.
make a
If you-
hologram, you shouldn't like take shortcuts to produce something that's almost a hologram. Is that what you were going for, Dave, earlier?
No, you capture the essence of what you're trying to do. Like, how many basic games have you played? Okay, let me give you a very
Yeah.
specific, right? Legend of Zelda, right? On the Nintendo
Switch?
whatever,
The new one?
the Switch. Yeah. What
Yeah.
world of what's it called? What's the name of that game?
I don't know. Breath of the Legends or something?
Yeah, Shigeru
Breath of the Wild?
Miyamoto. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Have you played it?
No, I don't play Nintendo games.
Exactly. It doesn't do anything it can't do. It
Yeah.
literally they built it to be on that format, and they said, okay, here's our limitations, here's our floor, here's our ceiling, and
That's
this
why
is
it's
what
like
we're going to do
largely
with it.
considered one of the best games of like the generation of the
They
decade.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't do it episodic. They didn't say, okay, we're going to put one, and then we're going to do another, and then we're going to do another. They didn't say, okay, here's what we got, and we're going to build on it later. They didn't do a demo. They didn't do a beta. They didn't do anything. They said, here's what you got, and it's built on this format and this power and this genre. Everything they encapsulated it, and they gave it to you in a packaged product with a bow, and it's amazing. And they didn't give it to you until they were ready to present it to you in a way that like
So what do you want them to do with the holograms?
With the holograms? They should shut up. Shut up. Is it ready? Is it cooked?
Well, then do you want what about the Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck
is ready?
Amazing. No. You got me. Hands up. You got me.
So, I'm not trying to get you. I just.
Did you want to get to
ready, but
New
it's
Florida real quick? Did you want to do New Florida, or did you want?
There's one thing I want to talk about with whiskey. We'll save. We can save all the other stuff, but I do want to do the Thanksgiving pairings, and I want to see if you guys, because we can kind of go through that pretty quick, and then we'll do the New Florida, and then.
Oh God, you're gonna do New Florida with this
Again.
guy? With this
Always,
guy?
Yeah,
this guy.
We got to talk about.
He loves Florida.
No, he loves New Florida, where he lives.
New Florida.
Albuquerque is the New Florida, man. You got all the people from Florida. Yeah. All right. So this holiday season, Thanksgiving's coming up, and this article claims to have the best bourbon pairing for Thanksgiving, and that includes the moment everyone's piling in to the house. Everybody's arriving. Okay. The bourbon you want is Belle Meade's Single Barrel Bourbon.
Oh. All right, hold on. I'm focusing hard on this. All right, where are we?
We are down in whiskey, Thanksgiving whiskey.
Yeah, that's what I got. Welcome to the party.
That's it. The welcome to the party. Belle Meade.
Yeah. No, I want to have an opinion on this, but you know what? The irony is the teetotaler in our group is going to have the most perspective on all of this. You know that, right?
Who's that?
I'm a teetotaler. By the way.
You. Yeah, he knows which one he is.
He knows who he is. Yeah, teetotaling bastard.
Yeah, this guy. He fucking
a teetotaler. What the hell is a teetotaler?
That's someone who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
But sells alcohol. Drink alcohol, but sells it. Teetotaler.
No, a teetotaler is somebody who doesn't drink. It doesn't have to sell alcohol.
Oh, I thought it was someone who sold it.
No, it's just somebody that.
Teetotalism is the practice of promotion of complete personal abstinence from alcoholic beverages.
Yep.
Well, you learn something new every day. So, teetotaler.
No, but you know what? I'll be dead honest. Epic has an enormous amount of intelligence, and he actually processes what people are telling him about an alcoholic beverage, and he could tell you probably more about an alcoholic beverage and what you should drink than somebody who actually drinks it.
Well, I think it's like somebody that loses their vision, develops better hearing. It's like someone that loses the ability to taste it develops like a better description of it,
Yeah, he's unbiased. He has no bias. He knows all the facts. He knows what they're supposed to taste like. He actually has a very important test he needs to take, and once he passes that,
that's true.
He'll be on another level.
The management track.
Right? Fast track to the top.
Right? He knows.
So Epic, then the teetotaler. Tell me how this sounds to you. Classic notes of bourbon, vanilla, oak, and caramel. Open it up. There's a sense of popcorn, cinnamon, honey, oak, dark chocolate, and a little note of black pepper.
That's nutty. I've never heard popcorn before in a bourbon, but I'd have to smell it. I was actually I bought Adria Frisinet Ice Cuvée, and it smells like strawberries. and she was eating it with strawberries. Oddly enough, it
Yeah.
was actually pretty good. I took a swath of it, like smelled it, and like washed it around the like glass, and was like breathing in the notes. Once you pick out the nuances, and
When all you can do is smell it.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's
That's what
smelling's
I was saying.
half the battle. I mean, once you get that in your head, well, alcohol is a very suggestive, very suggestive. I don't know, food. Like if someone told you it tastes
Yeah.
like popcorn and dark peppercorns, you're gonna smell that, and that's all you're gonna remember when you drink it. Is it smells like
Suggestive.
popcorn?
I like
It's
that.
so suggestive.
When I smell wine, I want
That's
to
why
drink
shelf
wine
talkers are
so
a big
bad.
deal for us, because if you can tell someone that it tastes like blackberry currant and
Mhm.
jammy rhubarb like that,
Oh,
they're gonna be
yeah.
like, all they're gonna think about is jammy rhubarb when they drink it, and it's
Oh, yeah.
different to every person because however you feel accompanied or however you feel comfortable with your palate is how the wine's gonna taste to you. It's
No,
crazy.
that's psychological reinforcement. That's
Yeah,
like
it's nuts.
Dr.
Alcohol
Trump
It's
is
here,
conditioning.
who
You're psychologically conditioning people
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
into
That's just,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So
Hangy,
after
hangy.
you've
Always
after you've
chicken
invited
big shit.
people in and you guys have had the Bell Mead single barrel bourbon, you're gonna go over to the
Making our
game.
old favorite. the
You're gonna
double.
you're gonna go over to the Jim Beam Double Oak for game time.
It's on rollback in Walmart.
Hey, you watch your mouth. Oh snap!
There's not much to say about Double Barrel. Do you guys have some sales line for how it's supposed to taste?
Walmart does not carry that, at least locally. But Double Oak is
They age
thing
it in
about-
American and French oak, don't they? They age it twice in 2 different barrels. Why they get the double oak? Something like that.
it's charred in American oak and then it's charred in new white oak.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what white oak is. I honestly, I'll be dead
Dave
honest.
learned last week about
yeah,
the different
I
types of
haven't.
oaks.
I've been learning about the different types.
Well, last week we
I
talked
talk-
about charter oak and Canadian oak Canadian oak barrels. Yeah.
No, and I for all the listeners, I concede that I have no idea what Canadian oak adds to bourbon or whiskey at all. I have no idea. And if anybody
But it
wants to
makes you wanna
chime
try
in, no, but if somebody wants to chime in and let us know, we're all ears. Seriously, because to say that you are the be all end all of Canadian oak or American oak or French oak or Australian oak,
Japanese
I
oak.
don't know. Yeah, Japanese oak, right? Haku.
Mhm.
So if that's something that
Haku.
but if that's something you know, I would invite anybody that's listening to chime in so we can further
Send me a bottle if you got it.
Absolutely.
I need the
Right.
hookup because I don't know where I could get charter oak in Rochester.
Of course you can.
Wait, you guys don't handle Buffalo Trace, right?
No, but
Okay,
you know what?
yeah.
Why don't
Total
you
Wine probably has it.
why don't you hit me up and we'll make sure that you're a certified taster of everything we do.
I'll have to do that because I've actually never had double oak either. Because I don't drink too much gin. I'm sure I drink out of the same distillery, but
I see a very Merry Christmas coming your way, so just make it happen.
all right.
So what we want to talk about
moving on
is
what?
they're talking about spirits and they're talking about hydrating and they're like hydrate. Okay, we get it. Okay, so
we're not there yet. We got to get to the cocktail bourbon. All right, so we've already been through. This is our third bourbon.
I was going down there like make sure you're all right.
Yeah. Well,
The cocktail.
I think you guys are starting to catch on to like what I saw the first time I read this article is we're 3 bourbons in and we haven't eaten turkey yet. All right.
Yo, it's turkey time. Bullet 10-year. And that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 bottles of Bullet 10-year in the cabinet.
Oh God, this guy.
Yeah. See how you haven't made Truff's Merry Thanksgiving Christmas slash. Come on now.
We can't bill alcohol. I would never bill a bottle of it.
Absolutely. Bad choice. Good call. But
while we're
Bullet
recording. So the have you tried it before, Epic, or you just have it now?
I bought it when I stopped drinking.
Damn.
I
Check
ever
like
fall off the
I
wagon
love
and I wanna
I
get more
love the
bourbon.
way I love the way whiskey and especially bourbon is described. Rich caramel, dried fruit, stewed in winter spices, fresh vanilla, and a nice wisp of smokiness. High rye, which means it's good for cocktails. All right, and then we get to the water break. All right,
no, all
obviously.
right. Let's back up. Bullet tenure is actually awesome.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. So Bullet itself is actually what is it? 90% 90 proof. It's not
Is it?
80. Yeah.
I like
Bullet,
when people cut it to what it needs to be, not 40. I'm almost like biased at this point. I like hate
exactly. So do you know the distillation process? So like when people alcohol is actually higher proof and they cut it down so they can sell more of it. All right. So Bullet is actually 90 proof, and it fluctuates, depends on the bottle you have. But if you actually have a bottle of bourbon, it's 90 proof. It's better. So if you have Jim Beam, that's 80 proof. If you have Jim Beam flavor, that's 65 proof. But if you have Bullet, that's 90 proof. And of course, people don't want to do proof for no reason. I'm like, well, I have 165 proof. Everclear is right.
Yeah, you don't want to do it for no reason, but if it's because you're like taking away too much flavor by cutting it all the way to 40% alcohol.
Exactly.
Then
so this is actually
it's
produced at its natural alcohol state. So what some people do is they have a 90 proof alcohol and they dilute it to 80 proof to meet their standards.
Yeah.
Bullet's not like that. Bullet actually takes the actual alcohol content and they let it ride.
I know. I feel like I'm becoming a snob when it comes to that stuff, though. But speaking of proof, after the water break is the Bottled and Bond Evan Williams 100 proof. And that is for, let's see, seconds. Let's do round 2. This is for after. So you have a glass with your first plate of the Bullet, and then you have a glass with your second plate of the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Okay, we're up to whiskey 4 now.
That's a 50 ml. That's a shooter.
That's a little bottle. I don't. Yeah. Maybe they just didn't have a good picture of the bigger bottle. But let's see.
Angel's Envy.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Citrus arrives to cut through all the salt, spice. Umami? What's umami?
Umami. Oh gosh, I just took a test on this, right? Because I got the WSET test. Umami is a wine consideration. Umami
really? It comes because they age Angel Envy in port barrels.
Yeah, so it's hints of mushroom and like that kind of flavor. The
Angel's Envy is like super small production too. They do it all inclusive through Angel's Envy by Angel's Envy. They don't believe in selling out. So what they produce is what they have. When they're done, that's it. So they don't like they're very studious and like when they produce something, they burn it through and then they're like they age what they have and that's it. And if they run out, they run out like that. They just stop having it. They don't care.
So I think you guys will get a kick out of the actual description for umami. So umami is Japanese for savory. It's one of the 5 basic tastes with sweetness, sourness, bitterness, and saltiness.
Yep.
So that's actually that's pretty.
Umami has to do with pairing. Yeah. If you want to pair something with umami, then you need to pair it with something that's, like you said, sweet, bitter. Actually, is what you want to pair it with. Has to do with
because
wine
it's
pairing.
savory with bitter.
hmm
Mm.
So let me ask you a question. Since you're now an expert, exactly what would you pair your new Angel's Envy finished port wine barrel cask with?
For food and on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Apparently, cheese.
Well, no, that's next.
No.
Oh, that is a port one. That's also a
Yeah.
port one.
No. Yeah. No.
Oh,
Go
that's the one
ahead.
we're looking at. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Cheese.
No, your Angel's Envy. No, cheese. No.
No, Evan Evan Williams is the umami on your plate.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Evan.
so
That's what
umami
has the
would
umami.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No. All right. So let me give you
be
the
back.
cliff notes here. You're gonna pair it with your beets because they're sweet, but
Yeah.
they're
Beets.
acidic,
Beets?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have beets
I know.
for Thanksgiving?
You're gonna
Cranberry?
drink this with your turkey. Come on, people. But
Yeah.
if you're pairing it, right? That's
Yeah.
the things your beets, your asparagus, your
Okay.
the
Your
things that
earthy.
have yes,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Like Brussels sprouts or asparagus, like you said. I don't know what
Yeah.
what do you guys have at your
We
dinner
got meat
table for?
potatoes, and green beans. It's
Okay.
basic.
So you would pair it with your green beans,
You would drink
more or
the
less.
hell out of it because it's a very high end.
All right. Angel's
Right.
Envy, port paired with cheese.
Angel's Envy.
Uh,
Yeah. No, not cheese though. You wouldn't pair it with cheese. You'd pair it
not
with
Angel's Envy.
no, you'd pair it with asparagus because it's you want those notes.
No,
Now
you're wrong.
you're wrong.
All right.
Prove
What's
me
next?
wrong.
Pie
And
time.
yeah.
Pumpkin pie, pecan pie, apple pie, blueberry pie, all that stuff. Peerless small batch bourbon, high rye. It's a high rye, which is 18% or more rye. Caramel, vanilla, oak, and a hint of roasted corn. Oh yeah.
I would argue that it's at the very best it's a dessert alcohol.
Exactly. We're in dessert. And then you round it out with Van Winkle Special Reserve 12-year. If you is that one that's easy to get?
I don't know. Epic.
So that's how you round it out. But if you've paid attention, what are we at? 6 or 7 bottles that these people this family has gone through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 7th bottle of whiskey that they've cracked open that night. That's at least 7 glasses of whiskey, and then you send people home. They're all great wines, but I wouldn't recommend having all of them for Thanksgiving.
No, the Angels.
Or sorry,
the Angels
not wines,
Envy
whiskeys.
Yeah, the Angels Envy is what I would suggest for everybody.
If you had to choose one,
Yeah, the fact that they're matured in port wine barrels, it's sweet. It's sweet. It's full. It's encompassing of exactly what Thanksgiving is about.
you got one that's not on this list.
Oh, I have 100. That's not
All right, Angel's Envy is the top pick. Then we'll do the top pick because we don't want people getting 7 bottles for Thanksgiving, thinking that's normal. Right.
The Angel's Envy's not cheap either. So,
What do you think that is?
That's
$50?
Easy. 50, between 50.
50 and 60?
Somewhere in there. Yeah. It's
no,
small
you know,
production.
if you're going to be frugal, you pick Angel's Envy straight or Angel's Envy rye. I mean,
Yeah. I would do Angel's Envy. I'm not a big fan of rye whiskey myself, but
no, but Angel's Envy and the Angel's Envy straight is the same.
I bet rye is better. I don't eat when I'm like drinking, like at the same time. I guess most of the time, but
when they mix with the port barrels actually add a bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah, the nuttiness, sweetness, the berries and stuff like that. It brings all.
Yeah, it's a fullness to the flavor. I mean, it's the same thing. They're gonna have a couple drinks. And they're gonna eat their turkey.
It used to be a Gallo product. Cardi, enough.
Angel's Envy.
Yeah, it's started with Gallo.
Alrighty, I think that's it. Other than New Florida.
All right. Boys,
do you want to?
This?
Yeah, hold on. Let me do some calisthenics real quick.
Get ready for like news about where you live.
About the Vario.
Vario.
Ready? Headlines read: Albuquerque matches record with 72nd homicide. Albuquerque, New Mexico. The homicide.
Dude, I heard about that. We're breaking records.
Matching the city's record in 2017. Police have confirmed confirmed a fight Tuesday night left one man dead. Albuquerque Police Department spokesman Tanner Tixier said officers were dispatched to the Econo Lodge on Central near I-25 in response to a fight in progress. Police said that once they arrived, they saw a man who was unconscious. Paramedics at Albuquerque Fire Rescue to attempt to save his life, but he died from his injuries on the scene. Police have not released the victim's identity or any information about possible suspects. The investigation is ongoing. There was a second homicide in Albuquerque on Tuesday, let alone. The mother of two state police officers was killed in her own driveway Tuesday morning. This is a developing story. So we're at 72. What was Rochester for the year?
36, if I'm not mistaken.
Bunch of underachievers.
I think we have just a little over a million people in the city of Rochester. Let me see. Rochester population.
Oh, that's really good because Albuquerque surrounding areas has 1 million people. Good job. Apples for apples.
It says Rochester's 208,000.
Yeah, that's. I think you're just looking at the city. You consider surrounding areas too, or what?
You gotta fucking. It's tough, especially out there because they have a lot of small towns. Every 20 minutes is a small town.
Hey, less than that. Every fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah. No. It's,
yeah. Do you consider it maybe the county? Hang on.
Albuquerque metropolitan is 905,000.
Oh, okay, we're lower than.
Yeah, but that doesn't count Bernalillo. They always don't count Bernalillo. Come on now, you know that. Like Bernalillo doesn't count.
But either way, 905,000. Let's say they add another 100,000.
We're 1.5 million, easy.
We're actually a little short. I remember a long time ago looking at Rochester population at like 1 million, but I think it's right now the consensus is 747,000 for Monroe County, which is pretty much Rochester.
So we're apples for apples.
There's some outliers, but
that doesn't include Buffalo, right?
No. Monroe County's strictly Rochester and like a few of the surrounding like small towns.
All right. So we're apples for apples here. We got small towns. Go, Scotty.
Double the death count.
Double the death count.
Yeah.
And
so what do we take from this? Is Rochester underachieving or is
yeah, they need to step up their game.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Back.
Yeah. Is Albuquerque overachieving?
We're double dipping the same day. Not only did we get close to the record, but we tied the record within hours.
Yeah, we'll kill your mom and your grandma. That's what
just
we
to
do.
Just to break record.
Out here, you just kill moms. It's sad.
Yeah.
Grandmom's got to watch their daughters die.
We have an epidemic that is unmeasurable. Come on, Yeah, I need more information. This is
Listen,
fun. Come on.
how about this, Epic? I'm looking at the map here of where that Econo Lodge is. Where did we go out drinking?
Oh, the Econo Lodge on Central and it was Martin Luther King. What is it? I know what it is now. What Scotty?
It's Central and Locust Street.
Yeah, it's not Martin Luther King anymore. No, it's Locust. The one right there with the Waffle House in front. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Hotel Park Central is across the street from this.
Yeah, you know, Hotel Park Central was a loony bin.
There's an underground cavern that travels between the buildings because they used to burn bodies there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
The park, the Highland Park, which is behind Hotel Park Central, was an epicenter for heroin as in the 90s. You could go. There was stories that you could go there and buy heroin off the bums. Like you could go and buy soda in a vending machine. Like they were just, it was bad, very bad. And they've tried to like gentrify it or whatever, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it looks
So
good
that
now.
kind of
Whoa, I love it, dude. That was a Slavic word that you just nailed.
So the Econo Lodge, where this is,
It looks good now.
freeway underpass goes to the Crossroads Motel, which was in Breaking Bad too. It's actually really close. And the Presbyterian Hospital, which is caddy corner or across the street from the Crossroads,
Oh,
is where
that's
Wilcox used to work, and that's where all the wilds go because it's downtown for the most part. So all the sicko weirdos go there, and that place gets filled with some loony people. Like it is.
It's right over by
not
the Crystal Palace, which is what they called it in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the Crossroads. That's it right there.
Where did we go drinking out there, Epic? There's not anywhere near that, right?
Fairly close. We went to Hotel Albuquerque, which is if you go down to go down to Rio Grande, follow that road down to Rio Grande.
Oh yeah, I got it now. Yeah, it's a little ways away.
A little bit. It's on the other side of down.
Yeah.
That whole area is troubled. And then that Barreas is down there. Place. But yeah, it's not a very down. We actually had our meeting. We had a meeting fairly close to that. Funny story.
I'm like looking at pictures of like the Hotel Albuquerque at Old Town, and I'm like, oh, why is everything like so standing up straight and like clear, not wobbly?
Yeah, why is it all
like
normal?
Yeah, that's a cool place. All right, what else you got for New Florida?
I think that was probably trumped the other story.
Okay.
I think that was probably far more interesting New Florida than
it's encapsulating. I think
Santa Fe man that killed the rapper Wake Self. I don't know who Wake Self is. I feel like that's more of like a younger crowd type of thing, but like 18 or 19-year-olds. But that's indicative of New Mexico too. The story, if you comb through it real quick, I guess I could probably bring it up.
Did you really just date yourself? You're like, well, that's
yeah. He's like 24 years old. So
there's the Z, the G, the Gen, the whatever, the boomers,
or the Zoomers,
Zoomers. You just absolutely set the stage for yourself being.
So one of the guys was drunk. In this case, Picardo is accused of violating the terms of his release after testing positive for alcohol several times and by being involved in the fatal crash, according to the Santa Fe Mexican magistrate judge. Anyway, he was drunk, and then he'd gotten busted for being drunk, and then went and killed this kid. So that's very New Mexican. Here is like you get like punished, and they're like, "Oh,
that's the
I got
guy
punished."
right there.
So they do it again. I don't know.
That guy looks like he's. Does everybody in Albuquerque look like they're 13?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Even that rapper could barely grow a beard.
It's the Indian blood.
Whoa.
Hey, oh.
Hey, oh.
Native American. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Native American, whatever. PC my ass.
Well, what's your excuse? No, I'm just kidding.
Where's the feed? I'm blind. Where's my feed?
We're down in. Well, we're wrapping up that one.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing because he had gotten charged with it and then went and did it again and killed somebody. It's just that's such a New Mexico thing, not a Florida thing. It's New Mexico thing. It's just
Recidivism. That's New Mexico.
I came home.
There isn't a person that comes out of jail that doesn't commit another crime, and there isn't a person that didn't commit a crime that doesn't condemn the person that is committing the crime. No, it's bad. It's a cyclical cycle. So people they need to understand that there's impoverished people. You have Hispanics, you have Navajos. The Navajos, right? Everybody talking shit about New Mexico. We have a giant, enormous amount of people that come from the Navajo Nation, and they're a sovereign nation. So they can come to New Mexico. They can commit crimes. They can do whatever they want. They can leave their wives. They can not do child support. They can do whatever they want, and then they can go back to the Navajo Nation. It's a sovereign nation. We can't legally go get them. And that's like the whole entire. There's like a third of New Mexico that is in debt to the sovereign nation of Navajo, and that's a huge problem. It's not our problem; it's their problem. Because what happens when you chase people into their own area? You have this whole area of lawlessness, right?
Yeah,
legitimate lawlessness.
So like there's like 2/3 in New Mexico that is absolute lawlessness.
The internet.
And it's not. They don't have the internet. They don't even know what that is.
That's what I mean, though. Like you chase. That's what happens on the internet. That's where trolls come from.
Yeah.
When you chase people into like a spot where like that's their only place to like let loose, is they're gonna let loose hard.
Yeah. So New Mexico is a conglomerate of all that kind of. So you got all those people. That's a whole section of us, and then you have normal people, which is I would like to think I'm a normal person. So you have those normal people that want to be successful, but then you have this underbelly of New Mexico, which has to do with heroin addiction, meth addiction, drug addiction. And that is like the other third of New Mexico. So you have 2/3 now, right? That are all fucked up. And now you're dealing with a third of the New Mexicans that actually want to do well, that actually want to forward our cause and what we want to do.
It's almost like that third should like leave, and we should fill that third with like the third of the people from Rochester that don't want to do shit, and then you guys should come up here, and we'll just create one pop. Yeah, yeah.
Where the inmates can go.
No, absolutely.
Send them all to New Zealand.
Despite Epic's rants and his angry rhetoric, no, we should help the people that are here, and you should help the people that are there, and we should create our communities based on some kind of consensus.
Yeah,
and that's the most important part.
New Florida.
Yeah. Well, that's what we need to do with like the whole country, but
yeah, but let's start here.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we have twice the murder rate of most of the cities in the United States.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Per capita, is that true?
We need to start here.
Did you look that up yet?
No, per capita, we're number one. We always have that.
Whoa,
yeah, it's way violent here, but that doesn't mean we can't. You're right. we have a hard time here. It doesn't mean we can't. Yeah, like I don't even know what to say. It doesn't mean we can't step up.
Because I guess it would make the biggest example to change.
Let's take somebody like Epic.
You got to
right?
lead by example.
Scotty. All right. So he's sober, right? He's clean. He understands the epidemic at hand, and let's say, okay, what do people that in his position usually do? They say, okay, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna touch people's lives. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say, let's not kill anybody else. Let's start this revolution, right? But he doesn't want to do that. Why? Yeah, you'd have to ask him. But I know why he doesn't want to do that, because if you do that, you stick yourself out, and the the actual benefits of sticking yourself out don't outweigh the actual benefits of keeping your head down. And that's what Albuquerque's about. He doesn't want he's not going to go save somebody else or teach them what he did or what he's about or how he wants to forward his life, because the benefits of doing that don't outweigh the repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our society sucks at. Because if you stick your neck out and you actually stand for the impoverished, you stand for the people that are addicted, the people that are have issues, then you're going to get beat the fuck down straight up. And he knows that.
And you'll be the 73rd homicide
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, yeah. 74th. There's probably already been one since.
I've thought about that. I'm like, why doesn't somebody like him go out and make a revolution? Why don't they make some waves? Because if he does, he's in danger, and his son, his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
his stepdaughter, his wife, they're all in danger because he spoke out. Give me a break, right? That
Yeah.
sucks. That's the actual thing we need to talk about in our area, is why is poverty the pervasive norm? Why do we accept that? Or why is that what we accept as normal? Why is an EBT card the actual norm? I had a kid when I worked at Smith's tell me
his community's gone.
Mom, yeah, when am I going to get my EBT card? She goes, son, when you work hard and you go through life, you'll get your EBT card. I'm like, holy shit. I heard that. I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, holy fuck. Like that was what their goal was. If
It's
you
a
work
perpetual
hard,
cycle starting from like the roots of America.
so how do you break that? Because you look at poor Epic there, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna break it. Not today. Not tomorrow. He wants to.
Well, that right now we need to. It's tough, man. Right now we have a lack of community, which means that like Epic thinks of like himself and his family, like as numero uno, and like the people that he interacts with every day. Okay, but like he doesn't think about like his neighbors or like the people across the street as people that he needs to take care of. And I definitely don't think of that either. Fuck it, that, you know. It's something that we're lacking.
He does, actually. He thinks of them as a he starts that way.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he starts that way. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna bring this neighbor into the fold. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? On 4th of July, let's do a barbecue. And the neighbor's like, well, let's do a barbecue. Sure. Right. And they do a barbecue and it's all weird and nobody wants to participate.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the old style community.
Yeah. But he wants to do it.
Yeah. I agree.
But what do you do? What do you do when you want to be an altruistic person who's clean and sober, and then your neighbor next door is lighting you up and beating his wife and causing all kinds of drama, and the cops are over there, and how do you do, right? Because that's what he deals with on a daily.
Yeah.
And that's what Albuquerque deals with. Epic is actually an actual encapsulation of what Albuquerque deals with on a daily. How do you be a good person when everything around you is going to shit? And that's actually what we need to answer. is how do you become a good person that creates change
Well,
in the midst of chaos?
yeah, I mean, you can't go over and beat your neighbor and stop him from doing that, because then you're going to jail and your family now is like without you. And you can't call the cops because that won't change a thing.
Yeah, but how do we? You're defining everything by what it isn't. You're like, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this. Well, what do you do? And
You gotta fix.
that's what our responsibility is, right?
Yeah.
If we have a voice and we have a forum, our job
Well,
is to
you're gonna
say,
start like you gotta. All right, first off, you call the police department. Okay, you have him put that guy in jail overnight. Right, he gets bail, and then you go and talk to like the courts. Okay, now you gotta start like a little, a riot. Like, how can you get to talk to the news? You're like, how can I like sit there and stand by as this man like beats his wife? Make it a big old public thing, and then they change to the police department and court laws and bails set higher.
hold on, what if your shit stinks?
What do you mean?
What if you're not on the up and up? What if you're not solely perfect? You're
Yeah.
calling this person out, right? They're as shady as you are, right? That's
Yeah.
the problem. How do you correct a problem that everybody has? You have it, they have it,
The
we
same
have it.
problem?
Yeah. Who has the high moral ground? Who defines what morals are?
Yeah.
Because your morals could be like, well, I don't do this, A, B, and C, right? But their morals could be like, I don't do E, F, and
What's
G,
illegal?
right? Who cares what's illegal? What's escapable, right? What everybody does illegal things,
Everything's escapable technically.
right? So you decide, all right, well, I smoke weed, right? That's what you think to yourself. I smoke weed. That's illegal. No one's going to stop me. It's medically accepted in my society.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you a bad person? Do you suddenly now should your neighbors report you for being a weed smoker?
If you're, well, yeah, there you go. What do you want? What do you want to do?
You know what I want to do? I want people to be transparent. I'm all about transparency, as anybody should be.
So you don't want a judge to put somebody in jail for doing something that they do?
No, I think that's they already.
You want the government? You know what I want? It's like it is based on your transparency, and like this is what I hear or think when you say transparency. Okay, when you say like I want people to be transparent, I want our civilization, our culture to be transparent. You know what I'm like? Why is weed still illegal, and why are people still locked up for it?
Yeah,
you fix all that, and then that's everything's better.
Well, that's the start of it, and
why are people going to jail for 20 years when they're mentally like ill instead of like being helped?
That is incredibly.
We know they're mentally ill. We know they're like have an issue.
What defines
mentally
ill? What defines mentally ill? That's see, the problem isn't that they're mentally ill and they don't want to put them away. They have to be able to profit off of them being mentally ill.
Yeah,
that's where they're sticking.
Well, no, so if you're transparent, then you're not thinking about profit.
No, but weed isn't the issue. It's how they can profit off. Like they could have. It's scheduled.
That's why they send people to jail.
It's scheduled on the same level as heroin and cocaine.
Yeah, but you want transparency, so they would give transparency, and then
they want taxes. Literally, the House passed the forum to make weed legal, and one of the first things they did was to say it has a 5% tax.
Right.
Which is right.
Sales tax. We have sales tax.
So, like, if you study like Sweden is one of the sociologists. I'm a sociologist.
No, way overhyped.
Sweden? Did you say Sweden sucks?
So overhyped.
Right. No, you're kidding me. They have you know why they? All right, there's two things. A, they're amazing.
Why don't we all live in Sweden then?
Because we're not. what's the word?
Why don't we just do what Sweden does? That would fix everything.
Because we're not homogenous. Sweden's what? What is Sweden? It's a bunch of white people, right?
Okay.
America's not. So we can't apply their principles to us because we're not homogenous.
Yeah.
Simple. That you're done. That the conversation's over. So you have to figure out how to apply their principles to a non-homogenous. America is not a melting pot; it's a salad bowl. You write
Yeah.
that. So like a melting pot is everything melts and it
It's blended.
blends. Yeah, but we're a
Where
salad
we're
bowl.
all
Like,
together, but we're all separate still.
exactly. You're a cucumber. There's a carrot. There's a lettuce. There's a.
We're next to each other, but we're not in each other's life and community.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you apply what a homogenous society, which is there's nothing but white people in Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Ever, right? So you take what they do because what they do is right. It is right. Nobody can conflict it. They have.
Well,
So
then you stop thinking about races as something that makes us not the same.
So what they do is they say, okay,
you imprint that in
the-
people's mind.
well, no, but their government is indicative of their population, right? So
Mhm.
let's transfer that to America.
Well, you say
So 10% of the population is black, right? So
Yeah.
shouldn't the 10% of the population be black? 10% of the representation be black.
no, 100% of our
Congress-
population is people, humans. Why can't we think
Yeah,
of
but
it like that?
Because you have to start with socialism and then you evolve.
Bernie Sanders. I see where you're going. No,
You-
wait.
you-
Who'd you say you were gonna vote for? Not Bernie, but the other guy that's like Bernie, but like
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Does he have any shot?
No.
Okay,
Not at
then
all.
I'm voting Bernie.
No. God, you don't vote for who you think's going to win. You vote for the people you believe in.
Yeah, but there's no point in
Buttigieg.
voting for Buttigieg if it doesn't get voted in.
No, we have. Yeah, I know where you're going, actually, because you're
Yeah.
voting anti-Trump.
Yeah, but if our votes are all split, then he's gonna get like
Oh, this motherfucker jumps in like 20 minutes fucking later.
he's playing hide and seek, man. He's taking care of his kids. I can tell.
Yeah, he's burping and feeding him. And he's like, Eli.
I heard him
Look at
slapping
this.
someone's belly or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he just fucking busted a sick nut into his chick, and he's fucking is like,
No,
he's good.
he was not cleaning the kitchen.
He was.
I was eating chicken.
Yeah. He busted that good one, and now he's like, I'm level, I'm good, I'm calm now, I could talk. It's good. That's what we want him to do, right? You go find your chick, you fucking
He got all that Keanu
Rabid.
Reeves hate out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we just like fell into politics. I'm gonna just stay away from this one.
Well,
No,
we went.
fuck you fucking
Yeah.
coward.
Well, we went
Yeah.
from this is the rant. It's Dave's rant this week. But this stems from Albuquerque being all messed up, I guess. Is the if you want to trace the footprints here. You started it, Epic.
Listen. Yeah. So me and all my recorded ranting. You know what the bottom line is that Albuquerque sucks because we haven't figured out how we want to encapsulate our intentions. If you want gang violence to go away, then focus on gang violence. If you want strippers to go away, you focus on stripper violence.
You need strong foundations.
No, you need a consensus. It's as simple as that. Albuquerque has no consensus.
You need to start from the ground up.
No, you stop from the ground. You stop from the top down. The ground level is really bad. It really is. So
only because the top level needs to get their shit together.
So what's the top one? They want peace and harmony and majesty of
profits.
men.
Yeah, there's no money here to negotiate that. There's nothing here. Like you can't reform the top when there's no money to like be spent to reform the top. You got to grease the wheels. some degree, right?
No, I call bullshit because we have Netflix, we have the studios, we have all the movie making. It's here.
It's slowly. It's not. You're the Republican, whatever Santa Martinez, the one who fucked it up. We would have been. We're
She's
8 years
gone.
behind. I know,
No,
but we're like 8 years behind because she like took all the money away that the city was giving grants to for making movies. She gave it all away. She like took it away from the big budget because she thought that New Mexico needed to stay New Mexican and be small. We didn't want to be LA 2.0 and all this.
But that's what we are.
Yeah, we have to do it.
You're getting there, yeah, for sure, with
Yeah.
your homeless and like murder
We've
rate.
been there. We've been there for a long time. We make LA blush.
No,
It's bad. Yeah, no, we do. It's bad. Our per capita murder rate is through the roof. It's really bad.
how many did you say? How many people did you say you have?
Domestically, we have about 1 million. Let's just do 1 million.
I bet you Newark has a higher. Newark, New Jersey has a higher one.
No, per capita murder rate.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a Google off. Here we go.
Yeah. I'm looking at the. Let's see. A 50-year low. Currently.
Albuquerque?
No, this is Newark, New Jersey. Despite 5 murders in 1 week, officials calm anxious residents with a reminder that Newark crime is at a 50-year low.
See?
New Mexico's at a fucking 50-year high.
Yeah.
Every month, every day, we're breaking records.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Corrales is.
Damn, Newark's turning it around.
2018. Holy shit! It's exponential the amount of happened in Albuquerque. Oh, this is embarrassing.
What is it at?
I got off that. I didn't want to look at it. Holy shit! Albuquerque, New Mexico rates and they actually they chart it because they know violent crime. The fuck? Is this year?
Yeah, it's hard to find that this year. Nobody wants to do the stats until the end of the year.
Yeah.
But regardless,
So, all right, per capita.
Yeah.
I think this is per capita. Violent crime in Albuquerque is 784 per capita. It's 394 per capita.
Yeah.
Assault in Albuquerque is 537 per capita. It's 248. Rape in Albuquerque is
epic
60.3, and the national is 41.7. We dominate in every category. Holy shit!
All we do is win, no matter what.
Murder is 7.1. Nationally, it's 5.3. Rape is 60.3. Nationally, it's 41.7. Robbery is 178. Nationally, it's 98%. That's double, at least. Assault is 537. Nationally, it's 248. Violent crime is 784. Nationally, it's 394. That's bad.
I think that proves our the point we've been trying to make is that Albuquerque's screwed.
Hey, I got 3 more. I'm not going to let you steal my shine. Burglary is 858. Nationally is 430. Theft is 2,051, 2519, 2,519. Nationally, it's 1694. Vehicle theft is 563. Nationally, it's 237. And last but not least, is property crime,
knows all about that,
which is 3942, and nationally, excuse me.
Jesus.
Epic.
Did Wilcox ever get his truck back?
No. He got the money and got another one.
Wait. property crime, last one is 39.42. Nationally, it's 23.62.
So you're higher
We
all
le-
across the board.
According to USA Today, in the top 25 most dangerous cities in the United States, Albuquerque is number 11.
Boom! That's it. Ah,
Damn.
We beat out cities like Chicago, Springfield, Missouri, Indianapolis, Indiana, Oakland, favorite. We beat them out. San Bernardino, beat that out. Anchorage, which is funny, beat that out.
Alaska.
Nashville, metropolitan area. Lansing, Michigan, which is funny because Michigan's on here twice for Detroit, which is number 2. We beat out New Orleans, Minneapolis. I already said Chicago, Houston, and Hartford, Connecticut, which is hard to believe. That's a sweet little city. Chattanooga,
Yeah, Hartford's actually pretty hardcore.
and Belmont, Texas. Yeah, New Mexico's we're up there.
They're up there.
All we need is a couple more, and we'll be up there. Detroit, Michigan.
Need socialism is what Dave is planning.
Hey, absolutely. Amen, my brother. Oh, wow.
Well,
Good
we'll
job.
dive more into New Florida next week, too. Talk about more of the stats for all the crazy things that go on there. Also, let's see, next week we can cover that Solera rum that you had and the Anejo Gran Reserva. Kind of branch off from the whiskey a little bit. And I think we covered everything else for this week. Oh, I wanted to get old supercars, but I didn't. But I'll do that this week. To counteract, like, instead of spending $70,000 on a Cybertruck, you could probably buy a cheap supercar.
I already pre-ordered it. What are you gonna do?
Show you a Gallardo with 120,000 miles that you should buy.
Next week. We got to do that next week. I'm curious.
Next week on the SSP.